get good in your alignment. All right. Hey, what's up, Dr. O?
What's up?
Not much, man. Podcast day.
Day.
Hello, our podcast friends.
Hello,
our
family.
Friends and listeners and folks from other places.
We got new bourbon.
We did get new bourbon, and it's delicious.
Yeah, well, watch my face and you'll see.
It's bourbon-y.
Oh, bubble.
Can we just talk about that Sebastian has some leaves on him right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sebastian is a fig tree that I inherited.
It's blooming beautifully.
And I thought I killed him because someone made I took a picture of something and Sebastian, the fig tree was in the background.
Oh, and you were
and
like,
the person, well, just because it was just there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the person texted back, "Do you have sticks in a pot?"
Oh.
And I was like, "No, I think I murdered a fig tree."
I murdered Sebastian.
I did, but he's coming alive.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, so I just water him once a Friday. Mm-hmm. It seems to be good.
He's a tree.
He's a tree, man. He's coming back. I'm gonna eat figs off that bitch one day.
Mm-hmm. You sure are.
Yeah, one of these days.
In a few years.
I'm gonna give you some figs.
That's not true. It's fruited before.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. I had tiny little figs.
Yeah, but you couldn't eat them.
Sure, you could.
Well, you're
probably
not
gross.
Okay, you know what I mean. They weren't delicious figs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how long fig tree. You know what I want? I want an avocado tree.
That will take you some time.
Yeah, that would be cool. But how dope would it be if you had in your backyard, you had an avocado tree and a lime tree?
So the place, oh yeah, so you can have avocados and limes whenever you need.
You just pick guacamole.
Guacamole, margaritas, all of your Mexican favorite things. Or just,
I don't think you could grow a margarita tree.
You could definitely grow a margarita tree. I'm sure it comes in a frosted glass. It'd be great.
So question, this is important. Do you like your margaritas on the rocks or blended?
Depends. Depends on where you go. Sometimes if they're a really bad bartender and they're on the rocks, it's just okay, on the rocks if it has not a mixer into it.
Gotcha.
If they're doing lime juice and just tequila.
Like a for real margarita?
For real margarita. Yeah. Not a mixer.
I usually won't get them if they have the mix.
Yeah, that's not very good.
It tastes like syrup.
But then if it's frozen, you know how you slushy it up, and then you got a migraine for a second. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I usually go on the rocks. On the rocks is the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm drinking this one neat. I got this new bourbon. It's $17.92, so we're still pushing that. But it's like
the special.
Yeah, the guy that told me about the juice, the fanciest juice in all the land.
With a cool mustache.
Yeah, cool mustache. Yeah. Twisty curly mustache guy. It's a place in Columbus. It's awesome. It's called Uptown Wine and Spirits. So if yeah, dude,
it's nice over there.
Yeah, you know how you go into some liquor stores and you'll feel like you're gonna someone's gonna rob you.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like
and
fancy.
You're like,
you know what I mean? You walk in, you're like, I don't feel good about myself.
They have decor. They move things around. They ask you if you need help.
Well, it's fancy. It's nice.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of nice stuff. I'm like,
got good lighting.
Yeah, it's like I'm buying liquor. This is
stuff
amazing.
isn't just in a box on the floor, still wrapped in the packaging it came off the truck in.
Yeah. So it's fancy in there. So every time I go in there, I feel like, yes, I'm buying bourbon. Give me your finest juice.
Your finest juice.
But apparently they picked out this stock. You know how you can make your own bourbon.
I mean, sure.
Well, people have
people know how to do that.
Yeah, right. So this isn't the standard 1792. It's one that they specifically crafted. So they push it real hard.
In a different barrel. You're this barrel was blessed by monks.
I wish, man. I kind of feel so I've been in there. I don't know how many bottles of that we went through. It's significant.
What number podcast are we on?
12.
Bam. Then we've done
at least 6.
7. Yeah, 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Yeah, right. Which it's fair. It's part of the operating cost of the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But every time I go in there,
overhead fees.
Yeah, every time I go in there, they always are like, try this one because I get $17.92 the same one every time, and I'm like, nah, man, I like the regular one, and they're like, this is our store brand, and then
you need it. Yeah,
this time I went in there, I was like, okay, cool, I'll get a different one. Try it, and I feel like they get a commission or they get a high five from it because I went up there and the guy was before he didn't see that I saw him, but in the background there was a background guy. I put up there and he said yes. So I don't know what that means, but cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
But it's good. It tastes more bourbony. Regular 1792 is a little bit more smooth.
Yeah,
smoother.
Smoothie-ish.
Yeah, I drank one drink. I drank this much last night, and then I woke up and I felt like death had hit me in the face.
Yeah, consumption definitely changes as you change in your body.
Yeah.
As you live in your body longer.
As you live in your body longer. Well, it depends on how weathered you are in it. If you drink a lot, then you can
I'm sure you still feel like shit because those people just like, oh, we drank last night. I feel hammered right now, and bull.
I don't know, man.
Let's drink again.
I've been around alcoholics, like some old head alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, for one, and my friend's dad.
Yeah.
So they were like, my friend's dad have the craziest story. Well, it's not the craziest story. It's a crazy story.
I
have a lot of crazy
in the mix
stories.
of all of them.
So I was in high school, and this was the house that we went to drink at. So it was like the cool parents, but they wouldn't let us drive. It was really, they were like, well, if you're going to drink here. And they made us give them their keys.
You're gonna do it at all. Just do it here.
Yeah. So then we went there every Friday and Saturday. So
you're like, I'm definitely going to keep doing that.
It was awesome. It was, man, they were just awesome people in general. Besides the fact that let's have fun, but like, we had fun in a very safe environment. So
yeah, that's how my youth drinking experience was.
So yeah, it was great.
I don't think she would have been like, yeah, you can drink here, but she was also like, I'm not going to come upstairs unless I'm announced. So whatever you're doing, shout out Miss Kim.
Who would announce that though?
I mean, just kind of like, she'd be like, hey, Nicole. And like, you would know she's coming.
Put it away. Mom's coming.
Well, just like, it was more of a respect thing. Not even that she would.
No, I gotcha.
It's like, this is your house. I'm going to respect the rules you have let us enjoy.
We went full party time.
Yeah.
We went like all my high school dude friends.
This was such a bougie house though.
This was a bougie house too. Like,
I love bougie houses.
They had a gazebo in the back.
Ooh.
And all we did was go back. It was awesome, man. We just went back in the gazebo and just go crazy, go high school boy crazy.
Yeah, it's like, look at this, drinking your Four Loco.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Actually, no, it wasn't Four Loco. Man,
you don't want those.
We got in the Dos Equis for a while. It was usually just Bud Light. I'm not even gonna lie. It was just like Bud Light.
All you need is that football, and then your friend would be like, wow, you're such a good person. I really want to hang out with you.
She's not my friend anymore.
That's fine.
I decided that I needed to be more diverse than that. But
it's like, I need some spice in my life.
Yeah.
More flavor.
Something that's important to me is to be able to have like conversation. That's a stupid way to put it. To be able to convert or talk or have cool conversations with someone. Like that's important to me, like in a lady friend.
Yeah, that's very understandable.
They don't necessarily have to like what I like, but they have to be able to talk about stuff with me. Because I like a lot of stuff. So like I'll dig in on whoever likes. And I'm like, oh, cool.
It's like, cool, let me learn about that.
Yeah, let me ask questions about it.
Like, you think a year ago I knew anything about stocks?
No. But Sam did.
I do now.
Yeah, I do now, motherfucker.
Okay, I know very little.
I don't know anything that's happening with GameStop, but I love it. I love it, man. I love
have
how
gotten like really good. Is it the New York Post or something like that? It's like, it doesn't have to be right. It just has to be short. That's a John Mulaney joke, but it's probably true. I don't know anything about New York. Anywho, I got a very like quick rundown of. I'm not going to try to explain it. Go on Reddit if you want to learn.
Well, that's where it started. Some Reddit dudes. There's something to do with short sales, and so I don't know.
It's the squeeze. It's the squeeze and short sales and how they're manipulating a free market. And it's like, well, apparently it's not fucking free.
Well, people have been doing that. Like those
hedge funds folk. Yeah,
they've been doing that shit since it started. So then like these dudes they make fun of them, like dudes in their basement. I have no idea if they're actually dudes in their basement, like totally fuck these hedge fund billionaires. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah,
the best thing I've seen was like, oh, you poor schmucks, you should like really invest your money. And then it's like, person invest their money. Be like, wait, don't do that. You're fucking me over. And it's like, well, I
saw one that was like Reddit user, like the name was like potato and ass. Defeats billionaire hedge fund. And I was like, that's good.
Like that.
Like that's what's up. Oh, so this guy. So it's the gazebo, right? So we would go out there and drink, me and my friends, and we would spend a night. That was the deal. So we had to stay over so we couldn't drive.
Yeah.
And then they ended up being like, his whole family kind of adopted me. And then like, he was one of my best buds.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Shout out to Brian.
What up, Brian?
Yeah, shout out to Brian on that one. But
thanks for creating a safe environment so we can have fun and explore ourselves.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was great. And so it was like 3 a.m, right? And his dad drank a lot. Like he was an
avid drinker, so he's like, I can hang out with these little kids.
Yeah, we hung out. It was great. And he drank all the time. And so I woke up one day like 3 a.m, whatever, get some water, and then I was in the kitchen or whatever. And then, or me and a group of guys were in the kitchen, I can't remember. And then his dad walked in a onesie, right? And he was drunk.
For it.
Yeah. And he was wearing a fuzzy, like, ish onesie. And then, like, we were drinking water, right? And then, like, so you got to imagine, like, we're just chilling, right? And, then, and he walks out in a onesie. And then he was like, he looks at us, he's like, you bunch of pussies. And then he gets a bottle of vodka and then pours a glass of vodka.
That's what I was saying. Like, that was my first experience drinking. I used like a kitchen, like your dinner glass.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how you drink whiskey, right?
Yeah, but hold on. Like, he was just, because we were drinking water out of a glass. That's why I called us a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
So then he filled a water glass full of vodka and chugged it and went back.
It's like, good night.
We're talking like 9 shots or something. Like whatever a glass is.
Yeah, that's a lot of ounces.
Opened his throat up and it just went down and then went back to sleep. And we were just looking at each other like,
it's like, what just happened?
I was like, I would have literally died. And, you know, the funniest part, he was like, you bunch of pussies.
Oh, pussies.
I think he was like, let me show you, hey, do it, God damn it. Yeah. I think it's what he said.
For real. Oh, really?
And then he did it, bam. And
Bam,
I could be wrong. I might have added that last part for flavor, but he definitely called us pussies. That did happen.
Yeah.
So that was a cool story about some friend's house that let us come party in their gazebo. I appreciate that.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if I want to do that with my son. I've never, you know, I think about it, I'm like, I don't know, man.
It's like, do you want to be that parent? So like my experience, the first time my dad's a little different, just German culture. Like he didn't come home from work and drink. That's not what he did.
Yeah.
If it was holiday or, you know, something like that, sure. But I've never seen him inebriated or like out of control. And then my mom, I've only seen her take 2 sips of alcohol ever.
Was it wine?
One of them was like we were on a cruise. And she's like, oh, I want a beer. I'm like, hell yeah. Oh no, sorry. This story is the first time I've seen her drunk, if you want to air quote that one. Because
was she not drunk?
I mean, she was acting all sorts of silly.
Okay, yeah, she was just buzzing. Mom was feeling righteous.
But you know, if you hadn't really drank, like a drink will do you. So like your level of drunk. And she's like sitting there. We're on a cruise and we're waiting for a comedian to come on. And there's like a buy one get one drink special. Like before, you'll have like more new hair on your chest.
Have you tried this yet?
Yeah, I mean it's different with the ginger beer in there.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You want to try it without ginger beer?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean it's not gross. It tastes more bourbony. Fancy bourbon has a different kick to it.
And you feel it in your nose.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like there are other
a little bit more like warmth that comes up and then down.
In the color.
Yeah, it's darker.
Yeah,
much darker.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, she enjoyed that, especially since she like drinks Diet Coke. Like so, drinking a can.
Yeah. She
probably took like big sips, more than you would if you were like, oh, I'm going to try alcohol.
But so like your mom's shotgunning a beer.
Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't quite that, but I'm sure she did take more of a sip because it's like an Angry Orchard. So it's like, oh,
yeah,
apple-y.
Man, we used to do dumb shit. Like I remember we used to funnel like 10 beers.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it was. And we just yak. Everyone was throwing up and we were just funneling beers. Oh man, I got so many crazy stories about this time in my life. Man, there was one friend. He's one of my best friends in the world. Like I've kind of lost touch with him. Mm-hmm. Super awesome guy. But he's really overweight. He weighs like 400 pounds or something. So a really big guy. And so he can handle his alcohol. And then one time he was doing a funnel and then he was like, pour it in or something. I can't remember exactly. And we poured it in and then we just kept pouring beers in.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was like, well, I guess I'm going to keep drinking.
Yeah. And then he didn't know. And then we kept doing it. And I think someone threw a shot of tequila in there too. I think he funneled like 4 or 5 beers and like.
He definitely yacked.
I don't know if he did.
Oh
man.
Oh, he could handle it. Okay.
I'm just saying we were gangster with it, man. Like it was. When I look back on it, I was like, I would fucking die if I did that now.
Boys are kind of mean to each other. That like bro love.
Yeah.
We've mentioned that before. That it's
This was a new level of.
That's a rough, rough house kind of.
Yeah. Because this was like between like 9th and 12th grade. Like,
oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah, and there was about 8 to 10 of us that hung out every Friday and Saturday all the time, and another 10 in and outers. So they were like fairly casual, but they were coming in. But there was like 8 or 10 of us that were always there.
That sounds really fun.
It was amazing. There were like some of the best people in the world.
Yeah, my friend group was a lot smaller, especially like the constants. The people who kind of came in and out were like school, or if I did like extracurricular things. I played soccer after school when I was a kid. But like I didn't go to their house. I didn't hang out with them. Yeah. I'm kind of a homebody. I still am.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the older I've gotten, the more I'm not introverted because I still talk, and but like I'm like a coin.
It's like I want to chill.
Yeah, I'm like sometimes I'm like I'm not talking. I don't like this situation. I get like in weird forced conversations about, and sometimes it's like, dude, this motherfucker won't shut up. You know what I mean? So
sometimes I'm motherfucker.
Yeah,
I won't shut up.
Yeah, sometimes I'm motherfucker.
I'm a talker.
Yeah, I forgot. So it's kind of crazy because that group. So this was in high school, and like everyone was like, "Oh, you guys are losers," right? Because we partied a lot, but we all got good grades in school. That might have been part of the problem. Like school was easy; it was just like not even.
Oh thing. Yeah. You had mentioned how school was kind of like
it was easy,
an easy thing for you to experience.
Yeah, I'm awesome at school. I'm like really good. I wish I could be a professional student.
You can. You're going to pay a lot of money to do that.
No, I want to be paid to go to school.
Yeah, like, it's like, let me make your school grades go up.
Yeah, like if there was the NBA of going to school, I'd be fucking LeBron James.
Yeah, I'd be like, bam.
Give me that shit.
Yeah.
It was funny because everyone used to like pick on us and think we were like losers, but we were the kids that actually did really well in school. But we just on the weekends, we got drunk and like did crazy shit. We did like our college freshman and sophomore year and like our
junior year.
Yeah, basically. So it wasn't like we're crazy or anything. We just kind of lived the college life in high school a little bit. And I remember people used to talk shit about us or whatever. And then, but then come to find out, like we all have at least a bachelor's degree. And most of us have a master's degree or doctorate.
Yeah.
So that group, that everyone that was like, oh, you guys are like, not that you have to have a degree to be a winner, but most people that at least have, they go to school, like they're not losers.
Or they at least put effort in towards the life that they want to live.
And they're all living like awesome lives, man. They're all like have their families and their jobs and their careers. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, man.
I mean, like, yeah.
But it was kind of funny because everyone was like, oh, you guys fucking suck. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like all you do is like party and like have fun on the weekends or whatever. And I was like,
isn't that the point?
Yeah. So my parents didn't give a shit what I did. So like, I had like free reign to do whatever.
You're like, bye.
Yeah.
I'm doing my life.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, fuck you parents. They literally it was neglect. So it was like, I was just like, oh, okay.
Mine, I lied to.
Yeah, I didn't have to lie to mine. I was just like...
It was more like I gave them the story they probably wanted to hear, but my parents are not dumb. Like, they aren't stupid. They knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I called. I never did anything dumb. So they were like, you know what? Whatever. You're fine.
It's fine.
I mean, I'm sure that would have changed if I would have gotten in trouble or didn't do good in school or whatever.
Yeah.
So that kind of... They didn't question, and
it's like I'm
not going to tell on myself.
They're like, we're not asking any questions.
Oh, hi, Marley.
There she is. You're famous.
You are famous, Marley.
I posted a picture on Twitter of her when she was just like chilling
and like on the pillow,
and like 40,000 people like commented or something.
They're like, look at the dog.
It was literally 40,000. I was like, usually when I post something, like 10 people see it. Literally, like 10 to 20 people, and then it was like, and
you're like, oh, there's a dog included with this
man.
one?
So like, you know, we used to be like, Twitter's not real, but it is real. But
it is real, and people like Marley.
Yeah, and so like, you know how I usually have notifications off on my phone.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it off for Twitter because it didn't matter, because like no one participated, like it didn't matter. And then it was whatever day I told you a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I literally, my phone was vibrating nonstop. It was just, and I was just like, what is going on? And I looked and it was just like, it's
Twitter.
All in that one picture of Marley. Just,
it'd be really funny. I'm sure this is out there and already been done, but Marley's cute.
Marley's cute.
Like, how people have Twitch and streaming things.
Yeah.
Just to have Marley's face just
24 hours a day
at a computer doing nothing. You could even just be like, like a repeat like image of little video. But just having like different people like narrate whatever she's thinking.
like look who's talking.
Mm-hmm. But just narrate. And you can go back and forth between like the Southern old lady. What else do you think her voice would be?
Maybe British.
Yeah.
But that's just ironic because she's a Boston Terrier. And I just think like maybe she's British because like the Boston's like where the revolution started or whatever. So I was like, ironically, maybe she's British,
like old English Brit.
Yeah, but like if I really had to bet money, she's probably got like
probably real Southern. Yeah, she's got that Southern draw. She'd be like, "Honey, come sit down."
And we lived in Savannah for a couple of years, so she could have that. She could have that fancy Savannah draw.
That experience of the Savannah life.
I did. Savannah changed how I spoke a bit because I heard.
Speaking of, my cup is your Charleston cup.
Yeah, it's my Charleston. It's like an hour and a half up from Savannah.
Yeah,
I love that cup. So that was the last. Company trip.
It's heavy.
Yeah, that was the last company trip I went on, and I fucking hated that. That was when that was when I was like
the weird party.
Well, that was when no, this was in Charleston. This was when I was like, I'm out. Like, this isn't for me.
Oh yeah.
So I bought that cup. Every time I look at it, I was like, good choice.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah,
it looks good.
Yeah, well, it's a good cup, but it reminds me of like making good choices.
Oh yeah, so like continuing on the path of good choices.
Yeah, because I bought it because I was like, I'm not buying any souvenir from this fucking trip. That's what you know what I mean? Because I always buy like souvenir. I like cups and. I like coffee cups really, and I buy my son a snow globe wherever I go.
Oh, that's fun. He loves snow globes.
No, he just likes them because I get them for him. So like he keeps them like.
You guys have like equal admiration for your like, you got me this thing, I drew you this thing, and it's like we're gonna keep each other's shit forever.
Yeah, man. Like what I tell him, like so at his mom's house, he has them on top of his bed over there, and I just give them to him. You know what I mean? He keeps them at his mom's house. And that's how it started. And I was like, why you have them over your bed? Like this is a snow. There's just little snow globes from like you know what I mean, but they say Charleston or like New York or whatever on them. And he was like, if you're not here, I look at those and it reminds me of you.
Oh,
I was like, motherfucker, you got, well, yeah, but I was like, my fucking heart. You got me, man. You got me.
Oh, that joke's so funny. I've had a lot of mamas this week just like laughing their butts off about like, your kids will do the most horrible thing to you. I'm not saying Andre does, but you know, especially like little kids, 2-3-year-olds. I mean, they'll break your shit. And then every mama tells me the same thing, but it's like, you know, they come sit with you for a second. They just kind of put their head on you and then.
Yeah, they'll just say stuff.
And they just touch you. Or they'll be like, Mom, you look so pretty. And they're just like,
yeah, it's tough.
Every awful thing you've ever done is fine.
It's erased.
It's erased. Such a rose-colored glasses when it comes to your kids.
Yeah, Andre says usually really impactful things. I can't think. I was trying to think of some stories, but like, he'll say some shit to me. I'm just like,
it's like, wow.
What the fuck, man? Yeah. I mean, I do talk to him that way. So maybe he's just learning how to speak in certain words. But like when a 6 or 7-year-old says some of this stuff, I was just like, wow. Okay, dude. Whatever.
It's like that hit me in all the feels.
Yeah, man, he's good at like tugging in my heart box. He's
bing, bing. You know, you actually have strings of your heart.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not saying you don't. I say no.
No, I'm saying you do. Yeah, they have a nice name to them, but they can also like people having your heart broken, or like how that's a phrase.
Yeah.
Or just like how much you can actually feel in your heart. It's a real thing. It is a real. And like anatomical thing.
No, I got you. I didn't know if you were going to. I didn't know if you were going to narrate. I didn't know if you're going to narrate your mind again, like you last time you googled something. I was like, let's go. Just let it. I was going to let it come out. That's whatever's going on in there.
Yeah, I'm not very good at googling. You should have seen me this morning. So birthday stuff update.
I still can't. I'm still tripping out that you're going to have a lingerie party and your plan is to learn to play chess and ping pong.
Yeah, the ping pong is maybe. That's really if like, do I want to break down their ping pong table and transport it and put it back up? Because the wifey that owns this ping pong table was like, I'm not fucking doing that again.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, it's like, I will definitely do it, but it's also not my piece of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
You don't seem to be as impressed with how unique and awesome this party sounds. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, yeah, we're going to be in lingerie and play chess. Great. No, yeah, I get it, but like, not that I'm imagining this party, but like when I imagine it, I'm just like,
it's like it's gonna be really fun.
No, that's great.
It's gonna be great. So you're better at words. That's what it actually is.
Words.
That one.
You gotta make me read.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, chord Tindy. I knew that.
Yeah. So that's your real heartstrings, and it's a real thing. And they can.
I didn't learn it as your real heartstrings. I learned like with that actual tissues.
So that's a real thing, and anatomically, and people can have like heart complications from that being overly stressed, just like any other muscle can be. I
wonder if it could be overly stressed and have like real physiological complications from like mental stress.
I'm sure.
From like having your heart emotionally broken and then like actually getting a physical heart condition from it.
But also like that's another thing, like why we can feel so deeply, because we actually have like synapse responses that go not to just it pumping our blood. Yeah. But it has an emotional connection as well.
Yeah, it's trippy. You know what's really weird? Well, that's weird, but yeah. You know, like I don't know if you ever been ghosted by somebody that you care about. There's different. Being ghosted by someone that you don't have a relationship, like a deep relationship with, isn't that big of a deal. It's kind of annoying, I guess, or weird. But if you ever been ghosted by someone that that's supposed to love you, or you're supposed to be like, you have a very good relationship with, it hurts. And a lot of you'll hear people physically hurts. And like, I always wondered why, because I'm like, dude, I've been ghosted a couple times. It really hurt, right? Yeah. By people that were not supposed to do things like that. And then I read this brain doctor, and like when you get ghosted by someone that is supposed to be there for you, that you've put faith into, that won't abandon you or whatever, it activates the same, I don't remember which part of your brain, the same part of your brain that feels pain, that feels physical pain. That emotion fires your brain like you're feeling physical pain.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe it. I can understand.
Yeah, they did the MRI of your brain.
CAT scan or
no, it's like a functional MRI. I think I can't remember. There's where they could do it of your brain.
Where it will light up as like things are being activated and
so
like see where the cortexes of your brains are like firing up.
Yeah, so they did that. I thought that was trippy. Then they did another experiment in the same realm. So if you're experiencing that, like if you're getting ghosted by someone who's hurt your feelings real bad, but it has to be someone that you have like a real connection with. It can't just be like someone you just met or whatever.
Yeah. Not your feelings hurt, but like your heart hurt.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's Tylenol or aspirin. I can't remember which one they did, but you know how you could take that if you have a headache or if your like arm hurts or something. If you're going through that physical pain from getting ghosted, if you take whichever one, aspirin,
like an actual like pain reliever,
it helps. Because it does the same thing. Like whatever it does for your physical pain in your brain, like to stop feeling it, it does the same thing for that emotion. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, that's a nice thing to like keep in the back of your mind. Be like, you know what? It'd be great if this was just like toned down a little bit.
Yeah. But I thought that was so trippy because I was like, wow, man, like that's so like metaphysical, emotional, becoming real. And then like taking a substance to dull it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's intense. I love when metaphysical fun things that I know are like backed by like science.
I'm starting to feel like everything. Well, I should not start. Like everything's backed by metaphysical, spiritual stuff. It's
I can always find some kind of link or connection.
I don't even think it's that hard. You know what I mean? You just have to be open to it. I was thinking about it like because like in college, when I went to Georgia Southern, I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
I was going to go to college. Yeah, but I was
it's like I'm here.
Yeah, I was 18.
Help
like,
me.
who the fuck really knows what they want to do? You might
your frontal lobe isn't developed.
Yeah,
yet,
right.
Guys.
You might think you know what you want to do, but I didn't even know what I could do. Like I didn't even know what there was options. You know what I mean?
You and I both didn't have like this fire from our parents being like, "Hey, you should go do this."
No, my parents didn't care. Like
Yeah.
they were.
Mine cared, but mine were like, if I said no, they're like,
yeah. As long as you're happy, right?
Like you do what you want to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help with direction.
That's true. You need some direction. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was talking about.
18-year-olds going into college, not knowing what you wanted to do when you got into college.
Sorry. This new bourbon. It hits just right. It's no, that's not that reason. I just can't remember shit.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's all stream of consciousness. So like, you know what I mean? There's not like a bullet point to come back to.
We got nothing, guys.
Yeah, we got nothing, man.
I mean, our phones are next to us, but that's so we can remember things that we forgot.
Yeah, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
But so I didn't know what I wanted to do, but like one of the things I was like really interested in when I first started college was religious studies. Not to become a pastor, but to learn of religion, like to know about all the religions.
Was it kind of skewed? Where it would stay into like one or two religions, or do they do a good job at like going over broad religions?
I never went into it, but like the intro class was like all world religion.
Okay.
Where you're just like a guy on the History Channel that knows about religion.
Yeah. Okay.
Like all the religions. You just talk about religion, not like teaching you how to worship or anything. Just like,
just like these are these people, this is what they worshiped.
Yeah. This is what this is. You read, you do all this cool stuff. I was really super interested in that. And then there was an intro to religion class at Georgia Southern. I don't know what it's called. That's what it was called then. I was signed up for it. And then like this group of friends that I had met when I first moved down there, they're all like, "Oh, dude, you can't take that class. It's so hard." Oh, and I was a freshman. Like I had never been to school before. I registered for like my first semester, and that was one of my classes. And they were like, "Dude, you can't pass that class. It's so hard." Like they went into all this detail of like you got to read papers and read books and all this crap or whatever.
You're like, you don't even know that I'm good at that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like they got me scared.
Oh,
and I was like, like, so I never took the class, and then I never went down that path. And I went, got some classes and stuff, but
you're like, I'm going to do science shit.
Yeah, I do science shit or whatever. And then like I read a lot of self-help stuff or whatever, which is based in all the spiritual models, really. If you kind of break it down, they just kind of take like a little essence of whatever and put it into like a, expand upon the one spiritual sentence into a book or whatever.
Yeah. That's probably my least favorite thing about self-help.
What's that?
Like I read the 4 Agreements. Not a bad book. Not mad at the book.
But that's not a very deep book.
I know.
either.
I could have just like, hey, give me the 4 Agreements. I don't need your other 150 pages.
Yeah.
That's just me. Now other people, they love it. Like I don't need the continuous stories of the examples.
Yeah. Well, sometimes books will hit harder than others in different seasons of your life. That one's never hit hard for me.
No.
I've read it once on my own and then like different places like, oh, we got to read the 4 Agreements. We go by the 4 Agreements. You have to read it. I've read it. Like 7 times.
Like, give me the 4 Agreements and I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know what they are because it's a good template. But so, like, I've done like I love those books. Like, I love those books, but there's always been something kind of like missing when I'm reading all this stuff. And then like here lately, I've got back into like I'm always interested in religion, like all religions. Like I just love learning about them. And I've been learning a lot about different religions the past year or two of my life, but really hardcore. Now I'm learning some Hindu shit. It's really cool, man. Like I'm getting into like how they look at life. And I'll sit back and thinking about it. I was like, oh man, this might have been like my calling. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're like, oh man, I should have not let people scare me out of this.
Yeah, because 18-year-old me, like non-frontal lobe developed Chris was like, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
And then like 39-year-old me is like, this is
still really interesting, and I want to know more. Yeah,
so I mean, like I can do my informal education, which is great, but I could have had a formal education in it. I feel like I would have been on the History Channel, like on the documentary of something, and been like, here's Dr. Odom, PhD on religious studies. And I'm like, well, blibbity blibbity in Hebrew.
Well, lucky you live probably until you're like 80, 90. So
yeah, I'm good. I can do it.
You could do it.
But I'm just saying it's kind of funny, like how, I don't know what it was. I was just thinking about that. I was like, because I remember that because I was like super excited. And then like they got me because I'd never been to college.
Yeah.
I'd never taken a college class. And like, you never take a college class and like 4 separate dudes I don't even know if they knew each other. I can't remember. We're like, dude, you can't take I heard that's the hardest class at Georgia Southern, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, fuck that.
I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck, I don't want to take it to my first semester. Like, I don't even know how to.
It's like, I don't know how to college yet.
Yeah. I don't even know what a college is.
Do something hard.
What's a book? You know what I mean?
Help me.
Yeah. How you buy books or whatever. Like you gotta buy, first of all, you have to buy books.
Yeah. It's like.
That's a weird concept.
What?
I wish I would have kept them. I always sold them back to cash, but like I wish I had that library.
I had that experience with you know how there's the Rate My Professor website. I mean, I know we went to school a decade apart, but
when'd you start massage school?
Massage school was in 2014, but like when I went to college a year after, so in 2012.
Gotcha.
I took the hardest A&P teacher. She had the worst review on Rate My Teacher, but I learned so much, and she was so intimidating, but she was the cutest little lady, and she loved cats. Like for the holidays, she had this vest that had cats all over it, and each cat was sitting inside of a stocking, and then the stocking shape was at the bottom, like that was the hem of the vest.
That's awesome.
She was adorable.
You know, but A&P always get a bad rap. It's a hard class for.
Well, it was the summer semester. Yeah. And she was a hard teacher.
Well, they always get a hard rap because it's a hard class, and especially for undergraduate students. Because
she did such a good job. Like I learned so much that year. I wish I still had that knowledge. Because she would have, you know, the sticky part of a Post-it note.
Yes.
She would cut that into maybe 18 squares, and that was our test. Just bones.
Oh yeah.
Laid across, and then she'd have these tiny. What's that?
Yeah.
And be like, And sometimes she'd trick you.
Greater tubercle.
Right. Greater tubercle of your trochanter.
Yeah.
Here's your sphenoid bone. Here's your
intertrochanter ridge. How about that? Bring that up. I haven't thought about that in a decade.
Oh my gosh.
But all AP&T teachers get a bad rap on those websites because the classes are hard.
They're so hard.
Especially for undergraduate students, because undergraduate students suck.
Yeah.
I've been one. Like, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're not really.
You don't know how to do college yet. There's a structure, and like we weren't prepared.
Yeah, and by the time you get to classes that are a little tricky, you're almost done. Yeah. Unless you continue on, and then you get into like even harder, more pointed classes. But so AP teachers always, and it's a lot. Like it's
so much information. You're like, we're gonna learn the cell, and then forget everything you know about the cell because RNA.
Yeah, it's one of the first classes I took where it was like machine gun bullets of information. Yeah, you know, I got used to that in doctor school, but like an undergraduate, I was like, what the?
I was like, help me.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta know what.
Yeah,
we did a lot of pig guts, worms, frogs.
Yeah,
in college.
I missed the eyeball. I had gotten my tonsils removed.
It was a sheep's eye.
Ours was a cow.
Oh man.
When my mom was in nursing school, they dissected cats.
Yeah.
And my mom's sense of humor. She was like, Sarah, I brought home a cat. Same mom who gave me a dog for my birthday and made me give it back to the owner.
What the fuck?
After the weekend. Did I not mention that? My mom got me a dog.
I think it's one of the open stories.
Yeah, one of the open stories. My mom got me a dog. Those are big air quotes.
You rented a dog.
I rented, like, Mr. David let us borrow his beagle for a weekend and stay at our house. And she's like, I was like, oh my God, Mom, you got me a dog for my birthday? She's like, well, you'll give him back on Monday.
That's crazy, man.
So when my mom was in nursing school, they dissect cats so they can understand how everything works. And so she was just kind of carrying around a dead cat for a few weekends. Because she'd bring it home. So like she'd bring it home and
study. That's weird. They wouldn't let us do that. So. I know last time I talked about cutting the face off of a cadaver in doctor school. Did I tell you about the shit story? Or the dick story?
No.
Which one you hear, shit or dick? Or both?
Let's go both. Let's go dick first because it's in the front.
Dick first,
it's anterior from the shithole, which is posterior.
There you go.
There's some terms for you.
We're going to make that some sort of snippet. The dick hole. That was a funny one. So which one am I doing? Dick first?
Yeah.
Dick joke. It's not a dick joke. Sorry. This is learning.
This your cadaver?
Yeah. This is like for real. Like this actually happened. So I'm joking. It's a funny story, but it's like.
It's funny, but it's also like kudos to this man for giving his body to science so people can learn because how else are we going to learn?
Yeah. But also it's weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never fucking done it again. I did it in school and I've never, seen a cadaver since. So anyway, so like most of the times, when you're a dissection lab, there is like a whole bunch of students to one body because they don't have like 1-to-1 ratios or there's not enough bodies.
Yeah, that'd be absurd.
Yeah. So whatever lab I took, it was like, I guess nobody wanted it.
As far as like time frame
wise or day, whatever it was. I don't remember it being a weird time.
Yeah. Cause you said there's like 3 people in your class.
Well, there's 3 people on my body.
Oh, okay.
And there's 3 people or whatever on the other body. And in the other classes, there's like 10 or 15. So most people didn't dissect because like you can only one, there's only so much room.
Yeah.
So me and my roommate, it was me, my roommate, and this lady. I don't remember who she was. She wouldn't do anything.
She's like, I can't.
So she wouldn't do it. So like we had to do it or we would fail.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't fail because you didn't dissect. You would fail because you wouldn't learn the stuff.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to pass the information.
Yeah, you couldn't see
because
it.
You
like,
have to know what's happening.
Yeah. So like me and my roommate dissected a whole human body. So
doctor school.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise. Like no one else gets to really do that. So me and him really dissected a whole human for 2 quarters, like a whole two different
labs,
lab 1 and 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyways, me and him do all of it.
Yeah.
Like literally, she did nothing, but she was learning. She was like looking over her shoulder, like she was taking her notes or whatever. But like,
she was like,
but we came out with like, we came out with like fucking goo on us. Like I'm fucking hands.
I'm gooed up.
Yeah. I'm hands deep in some dude's stomach. You know what I mean? Like for real, you know what I mean? So it's different. Real different.
Yeah.
And then we get down to the reproductive system and we had a guy. So you have to like dissect the dick. You know what I mean?
Peel apart the skin.
Yeah, you got.
I'm sure there's a lot of like layers of muscle.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. When you get tubes,
urethra and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if this is a wiener, if you're like put your finger like if you're not watching us, like you just put your finger down like it's like a wiener hanging down. You chop it off or whatever. If you look into it, it's got tubes.
Yeah, so like the skin, then the meat, then the fat.
Yeah, but there's tubes inside of it. Yeah, so it's trippy. I can't remember the names of it right at the moment.
I know urethra.
That's not that tube, but like there's like bigger like cylinders inside of it that make the wiener.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not just like goo inside. Like there's stuff inside there, right?
It's just
yeah. There's not just like fucking.
It's just goo inside.
It's not just goo. It's not like a stress ball. It's just like a sack of goo or anything. But
just sand. That's all
sand. These wieners are made of fucking magic sand.
That's hilarious.
But like, so we got to the reproductive system, and then we had a guy. And for some reason, me and my roommate were just like, "Fuck this, man." We've been because like this hard. You're not supposed to like. We've been dissecting this motherfucker. We looked at her. We're like, "You got to do this part."
It's like, please help us.
No, we said, we're not doing it. You got to do it. She was like, "Okay, whatever." Right. So she's never dissected the whole anything.
Yeah.
So she grabbed a dude's wiener in her hand. Like you have to. I mean, it's not like weird, but it's funny watching her because like we have gloves up to here. We have like shit all in our like masks and stuff. Like not shit, but like literal like pieces of human. So like we're in it, and she's like prissy, and then she picks up the wiener like all like weird, like it's gonna bite her. But then and then like so like there's a tip of the dick or whatever. Like so we had like this wasn't her idea. It was like what we had to do. We had to cut it like slice it or like it wasn't a pair of scissors, but if you're listening, just imagine like scissoring or scalping off the tip of the dick. So she had to do that. But a piece of backstory or context of the story is like in a cadaver, they drain the blood. So it's not like you cut it and blood gushes out. Like they drain the blood. So he's drained. And then they put a coagulant in there because like there's little pools. Like, I mean, like, there's blood pools, like there's little dips and stuff. Yeah. So they put a coagulant in it. So if it doesn't actually drain out, like it coagulates and it's like, it's so weird. It's like cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
On the inside. Yeah, so it's this weird.
Gelatinous.
Yeah. So that's what all the pools of blood, if we saw some like hidden somewhere, it was like cranberry sauce, right? So we were used to that. So she chopped the tip of this dude's dick off. And then I'm not lying, she was just holding it with like this. Like it was like the worst thing ever, right? And then like for some reason, I don't know, oozed out black blood. It looked like tar, black blood. It wasn't gelatinous at all. Oozed out everywhere.
That's a day. That sticks in your brain.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah,
that doesn't go away.
We were just watching it, bro. Like, what the fuck? But apparently, there's a lot of blood in the human dick.
I mean,
that's what makes it get bigger. It's the blood. Yeah. So apparently, there was some blood in that dick that didn't get cranberryized.
Yeah. So I've been listening to some.
So that's my dick story.
Your dick story.
Dick story.
Going on to like how actual like, I guess morticians. That's what they'd be called.
Yeah.
They have a really fancy job. They have to get a doctorate.
Yeah.
They are medical doctors, and then they go to school.
I don't think they're medical doctors.
I think they're medical doctors.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Yeah.
We should Google that.
I don't need to. Day. I'm 100% sure.
Anywho, they get at least have a doctorate.
They're very educated.
They're very educated. But they're
not a medical doctor. They can't go practice medicine.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
But
yeah. They wouldn't be like, I'm going to go to a hospital and go be a doctor.
Yeah.
But they have a doctor degree.
Yes.
In being a doctor stuff.
Yes.
And then they go to school to learn how to work with cadavers.
Yeah.
And then I was just listening to a crime scene podcast. Shout out Morbid. And I keep calling it crime junkie podcast or
crimecast.
No, I call it crime. No, it's something with a pod. It doesn't matter. I would say it wrong every time.
I never have listened to
Crimecast or something like that.
Yeah,
Just silliness. I'd blurb it all together. But they talk about how they do the femoral artery, which is like in the inside of the thigh. And that's how whenever bodies would go to the morgue, that's how they would drain them of blood.
Yeah. I've never listened to a true crime podcast.
I know there's a lot of words that will stick in your brain that you probably don't want to hear super early in the morning.
Yeah, I know they're
or
real,
any other times.
They're real popular with people, and I'm a podcast junkie. Like I listen to stuff all the time, but that genre is not for me, man.
I can understand why you get addicted because I've listened to all of Crime Junkies podcast.
Yeah, I'm more into wiener jokes and bullshit.
It is really a lot, but I learned that through their like Black Dahlia murder because they were like.
That's a cool movie.
Their suspect was like, it's got to be someone. Because the way that they did the dissecting through the lumbar and didn't break bones, obviously you'd have to have some skill. Huh. And so just in the blurb of all of that, they were talking about how her body was drained of blood and it was done probably well and by a surgeon.
Huh.
So that was the whole thing.
I can't get in about people are addicted to these true crime podcasts.
It'll give you nightmares. I recommend it and don't recommend it at the same time.
I remember for a while you were like really on them and you're like, I don't want to like go outside right now.
I was like my car's locked. When I go to the gas station, I lock my back car's doors, which is I used to leave. I
used to leave or something, and you'd be like, you gotta lock your door and do this because that's how this person died. And I was like, dude, I was like, what the fuck are you listening to, man?
Sorry, it got stuck in my brain.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get into them.
Yeah, it was intense.
Shit story.
Let's do it.
Shit story.
Same cadaver? Same
cadaver. Yeah, I had the same guy. So this is fairly...
Can't go nicking colons, guys.
Yeah, it was the same. It was very close to after chopping dude's dick off and having death pour out.
Well, anterior, posterior, man.
Fuck, man.
Gotta
dude,
work it.
That was crazy. It smelled bad.
I believe it.
Yeah, anyways, I don't know what that was. This house is old.
Creaking.
Yeah. So like that was a weird story. And then we got to the digestive system, right? So we had to get in that. So like the guy was Asian. That's not important, just so you can use your imagination. It was an Asian TA and he handed me like this saw. Like it's the one that we use. It was like I don't know what it's called. It's got like a spinny blade on it.
I mean,
I don't know what you call it.
Circular saws, I think, are like table saw.
Yeah, but something you can hold in your hand and like a circle, like a fucking blade, like a circle blade on it, right?
Yeah.
He threw it to it and he was like, hey, all right, chop the guy's leg off. That's something like that.
Oof.
And I was like, okay, I thought we were going to chop it like you did the dick. Like you chop the tip of the dick off, you like chop the leg off and we're going to look at it or whatever. And he was like, no. So you had to imagine like a crotch, like you got two legs coming together. Like if you touch your crotch, we had to go up that to the belly button and then over to the side of the butt.
Because you want the whole pelvis.
The whole chunk off. Yeah. So like go from like your crotch up to your belly button and then over so your whole butt cheeks off, your whole leg came off.
Anatomically, you're going to go from your pubis bone up to your umbilicus and then you're going to go laterally to get your entire iliac crest.
Yeah, I was talking about butt cheeks. She's talking words. Butt cheeks. So we did that, right?
And gluteal folds.
Yeah, man. We chopped that bitch off, man. We chopped the whole quadrant, the whole leg butt quadrant gone, right?
It's all gone.
Yeah, man. And like his fucking dick and nuts were already chopped up because we had to chop them up.
That was last week's lesson.
Yeah, I mean, or whatever it was. It's just, I mean, it was crazy. It's just, anyway, so we went up like his pelvic shit, right? And cut his thing off. And then as soon as we did that, when you do that, you have to go through the large intestine.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't not familiar with that, that's where poop is.
Yep, that's where it hangs out.
Yeah, right. That's how it comes out, right? So we went through there, and I guess the dude had to take a shit before he died. And
do you guys get backstories, or
no.
you're just like,
no.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, you get a guy and a girl. That's how our class was. There was a guy and a girl in each lab, so you can do the differences between men and women.
Yeah,
they're different.
They're different on the inside.
Yeah, they're different. Yeah, I mean, it's different. Anyway, so we cut up this dude's leg quadrant butt, and we pulled the leg off, like yanked it through all the shit, and then like shit just started oozing out all over the table like this fucking.
Did they give you guys any counseling afterwards?
No, they should.
They should. Yeah.
Man, and then this guy has been dead for. I mean, this was in second quarter, so one quarter is 11 weeks. So we're going on like fucking 15, 16, 17 weeks of me dissecting him. So I mean, he died prior to that. So this dude's been dead for a minute. And this shit literally was awful. And we had to clean it up. It was like we had to. I forgot the best part.
The teacher was gonna be like, "Fuck you! I ain't cleaning that up."
No, but this is good. Sorry, this is the best part of the story. So we had to clean the bulk of the diarrhea, awful shit up, right? And then so the teacher, he was a small Asian man. Not that that's important, but like it sets the scene.
Yeah.
So he picks up the dude's leg, and so it's the whole. It's the leg going up, and then like cut off, and then one butt cheek.
Yeah.
But like if you were a perfect surgeon, like you would go like right at the middle, and it would like so your butthole, it would be like half one butthole, half the other. So we weren't perfect. So like the side he had like a fully intact butthole.
Yeah. The whole sphincter.
Yeah, the whole butt, the whole butthole was right there, and I look over. So we're like gagging, like literally, not to be gross, but like it was gross, man. Like, it was bad, cleaning it up, whatever. And I look at this little dude, and he's got like the leg butt with a fully intact butthole, and he has a white towel through the dude's butthole, and he's shimmying it. And I've seen a little small Asian man shimmy a white towel through a butthole.
That's intense. That's a day.
I remember I was like, say you're my roommate, and it was happening over there. I was like,
dude, look what's happening.
And we just stopped, and he just looked at us.
And you just know in a few hours, you're probably going to open all that up. So he was just helping you out.
Yeah, and we were just staring at him, and he looked at us, and he was like, And I was like, what are you doing? Shit everywhere.
Shoulder shrug.
Yeah, man. I was just like, all right. Anatomy. Yeah, so that's my shit, my dick story.
We had plastic pieces of bone.
Yeah, we did that, and like I did that undergrad, but like when in doctor school we
didn't I didn't go to doctor school, not yet.
Now they go hard. Well, I like what we did better, but now what they do where I went to school is they have a giant table.
Yeah, the like 3D cadaver table.
Yeah, which is cleaner, but it's like you don't get the real experience. Like I've held a heart and a liver in my hand, and like the connective vessels. I've held them. I've seen it. You know what I mean? It's something.
It makes a difference. It sure does. I mean, like I've only seen like books, but it's not the same.
It's not, man, because I've had books.
The posters are garbage. That red and white poster, that's nothing.
Yeah, I've had books and
I've seen your books, and that's about the closest to cadavers I've seen.
Yeah, and then it was nothing compared to like actually seeing it and smelling it and touching it. Like it's like
and being like, you know what? Let's help these people so this doesn't happen.
Yeah, like hold the weight of a liver. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like who else can say like I'm like I've held a liver.
Yeah,
a human liver that was connected to the.
I've done a chicken one. They're much smaller.
Yeah. Anyways, it was weird. That's my shit. But the best part of the story was like just imagine like fucking dude.
Skip. Little flossing.
Yeah, he was just flossing a butthole, man. Like it was like part of his everyday life. Like that's not even unusual. And I was just like,
I got this. You got to do it for the students, man. Got to be there. It's a teacher role.
Yeah, none of that really stuck with me. Those are funny stories. That's my shit, my dick story. But the one that fucks with me is the face. I still dream about that face every once in a while. Afterwards, I dreamed about the face a lot because I had to dissect the face. That was like my punishment.
Late trigger warning. Hope you're not eating.
Oh, real quick. So the reason I had to do the face, I didn't tell the reason. I just said I had to do the face last time, I think. The reason I didn't do the face is because I didn't clean some of the shit. I just was like,
so it was like a slight punishment.
Yeah. Because like I was just like, fuck this, man. You know what I mean? I'm tired. I'm in class. I'm fucking knees deep and shit. I was just like, fuck this. I think I walked away for a second, and they were like, okay, it's cool.
I think it's fine. But you're gonna get the face later.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Because like me and my roommate was in there doing it. Yeah. Him and then they were doing what they needed to do. But like me and him dissected this whole dude. I was just like frazzled.
Take him out.
So then so when it came to the FaceTime, they were like, look, just like we did the girl with the dick. they looked at me with the face. He was like, he's my roommate too.
Yeah, like,
and he was like, dude, man, you didn't clean that shit up. You got to do the face. And I was like, that's fair.
All right. You're a fair dude.
Yeah, I was like, that's fair. So then they just watched me dissect this dude's face, and I was like, it's a very small, sharp scalpel, and just get in there, man. Oh, and then I had to get that same buzzsaw.
Oh,
the same buzzsaw.
I think it is called a circular saw.
Yeah, and then I had to chop his skull off, like chop through his skull, and, like rip his brain out.
Yeah, and like here it is.
It's fucking
the
weird.
Whole
Sorry.
nervous system.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like looking back on it, like
you guys wanted health. Here's health.
Is that health or is it a shit and dick story?
I mean,
or can it be both?
It's both.
Both, motherfucker.
I mean,
boom,
bam.
I've been watching a lot of Rick and Morty. I watched the whole series in like 2 days. I've been like binging it. So like they always say, "Yeah, motherfucker." So
it's
like
such a not for children. That cartoon is not for children.
No, that's one reason why I don't let Andre get on HBO Plus, because I don't want him to see that I'm watching Rick and Morty. He's like, Dad, I want to watch because it's a cartoon.
You're like, you don't want to watch that, or you probably do, but I'm not going to let you.
Dude, like the second half of that show was so good.
It just keeps getting.
Yeah, I went back and watched the first episode, and it's good, but it's not like it is.
Yeah.
At the end of it, man, it's crazy. Like the language and like the shit that they do. I'm like, this is amazing.
It's a good show.
Have you seen all of them or a good chunk of it? Have you seen?
I think I've seen all of it.
Have you seen Pickle Rick?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick. So going to these music festivals, like people, that would be their totem.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
Oh God.
And
damn.
so like, and what's really great is so if any of you out there are like in that festival life or had been, because obviously
Jinko jeans.
Yeah, Jinko jeans. No, different life. You go to these totems and you know you're gonna lose your fucking friends, and so you're like, hey guys, I'm behind the Tina totem. I got the Dragon Ball Z totem, and I'm like,
what's a totem? I know what a totem is traditionally.
Okay, so a totem being like when people go to these festivals, you have some folks who are dedicated to taking this 15-foot pole. Some of these are ridiculous. They're so huge. And
I mean, good.
Some of them are great. Some of them are just there. Some of them are cutouts. Some of them are flags. But the people who hold the totems, you see them in the front.
Why do they help? What's the point?
They're just swaying them.
Okay, there's no point. It's just to look cool. It looks cool.
Sometimes it is like to keep up with your friends. So like when your one show ends and you're going to the next stage, you're the totem. Boom, follow the totem.
Gotcha.
If you've lost your friends, you're like, hey, I'm next to this totem, so that you can see around. And it's helpful, but sometimes those motherfuckers move, and you're like, hey, I'm behind Pickle Rick. And then be like, oh shit, Pickle Rick is leaving. And then you're like, now I'm like 4 feet behind the lobster totem and the crying baby and the spaceship Jesus and the Fred is a common, like it's an alien balloon.
I don't know Fred.
I'm pretty sure it's a Fred. Frank? It's Frank.
Is it Frank?
I think it's Frank. Anywho, it's just an alien. There's usually like a light up little bulb inside. And some people are hilarious and they'll keep theirs until like, you know how balloons kind of wither?
Yeah.
And it's just this like shrunken alien. Yeah, where are them aliens at?
Where are the aliens
right?
at? I don't know. I don't know if that bill's going to pass. I haven't like read anything about that lately.
Yeah, well, the internet's just like, have you guys seen Robin Hood?
That's all I've seen. Like, I'm just like, but when I read about that, I was like, oh, that's cool. But then like, all the rich people are mad. But I'm like,
yeah, where are them diamond hands at?
But I'm like, that's what y'all been doing to poor people this whole time. Man. Like fucking with shit just because they're fucking with you back. You know what I mean? It was because Reddit user potato in my ass beat you. Like,
yeah, they're like, don't be mad because he outsmarted you.
I don't know if it really was Reddit user potato in my ass.
I'm
but
sure
like,
it was there.
That meme is real fucking funny.
I believe it is.
It's at first I didn't know what was going on. I saw people like posting shit with like hashtag AMC and GME. I'm like, what the fuck? Robin Hood?
Like,
I was
what's
like,
happening?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not really hip to like certain current events. You know what I mean? Because
if it's like math, I'm like,
well, I'm not interested in a lot of current stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I don't watch the news or whatever. Like, but I didn't know what was going on. And it took me a minute. It took like 3 layers of memes for me to. That's how I get my news now. It's through like
through the memes. Be like, what are all these memes talking about? Because I think that's in our current events.
Yeah. And then like I had to go through like 3 layers of memes to understand the first meme, and I was like, oh, that's what's
like right. We were just looking at Bernie with his cute little mittens, and now we're like, wait, there's like a revolution with our like monetary system.
I just want to see more Bernie, man.
More Bernie.
There's more Bernie with mittens.
This little mittens.
This little mittens. Hey, I went back and read the article. I think it was 2nd grade teacher gave him those mittens.
Nice.
Yeah, and he wears them everywhere. And I was like, dude, Bernie, man.
That's a cute guy.
He's good, man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that shit. I wish I would have bought some stock because it was like a couple bucks.
You don't want to buy it right now because it's like $140 per share.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's a lot. You want it when it's like 5 cents per share.
It was like wasn't it like $5 or $6 a share, and it went up to like $350.
It was something like an outrageous.
I don't understand
outrageous turnover.
I don't even understand the stock market. Like the speculation of like the value, like fake value of companies go up and down based off of.
I'm sure you'd figure it out if you were like on it, seeing how the pages moved, following the patterns, seeing what happens.
True. I'd rather watch Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick?
Pickle Rick. If you had watched Rick and Morty and you're an adult, well, if you're not an adult, you probably aren't listening to this podcast, but you might be. I don't know. But if you're listening to this podcast, you should watch Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick is probably the best episode.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty, man.
Good.
It's so good, man.
It's pretty funny.
Like the Citadel of Ricks. When they go, there's like this whole.
All the Ricks.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like it switched. Like in the first season I think it's the whole first season, like he's drunk the whole time and burping the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
he's got like the blurp on his mouth. And their eyes are like not perfect weird circles and they're just little blurps.
Yeah, but then that goes away. Then like he's not drunk all the time. He goes and gets drunk.
Yeah.
But so then that's when it gets real good. Because then like he talks more regular and he's fucking funny, man. They're just and then
the
Morty,
writers of that show is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and then Morty
jeez,
but then like
jeez, man.
But then he's funny. They made Summer funny, like the sister. They made everybody funny. The show. That show is like I forgot how good it was. I watched it like whenever it comes out, and I haven't watched it in so long. I just watched it all in 2 days, and I was like, this
is fucking funny.
Like this is the jam, man.
I'm on my last season of Star Trek.
Which one? There's a whole bunch of seasons.
Next Generation.
I don't
Captain
know.
Picard.
I don't know if I've seen all those. Oh, the Captain Picard ones. I don't know if I've seen all those, man.
Picard.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That wasn't for me. It wasn't not for me, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see. It started in like 87 and then I think ended in 98.
Yeah, I didn't like their movies that much. Where he was like part of the robot aliens.
Oh, I didn't.
You haven't seen those? Oh man, what are they called, man? If you're watching, you're
helpless.
The sci-fi nerddom's gonna go against me, man. I can't remember what they're called.
Fuck this guy. He doesn't know shit.
I do know, man. Wow, man, what they're called? I can't remember anyway. I don't like the movie. That's why I can't remember. I never really got into that. I like the old stuff. That's not the old. Even the newer.
Are you thinking Star Wars or Star Trek?
No, Star Trek. No. Okay. Picard becomes part of an alien race. They get on him. The alien, they're like robot aliens.
All I can think of is what's Cybermen from Doctor Who.
No, but if you watch the whole series, you'll see. Like if you're getting there. Oh man, what the fuck are they called?
Google it.
I don't even know what to Google. Hold on, I'll Google it.
That's like my biggest thing ever. Like, how do I ask the internet what I want?
Insecure. Yeah, it's so like obscure.
I'm like, internet, give me what I want. Because I ask random questions. Speaking of the internet, you ever go on websites and they're just like, I mean, bless them. The person you call, like, they didn't build the website. Don't be mad at them. But nobody gave any thought to their website. So, birthday party, all that kind of fun stuff. The cabin I wanted was fucking booked.
Yeah.
And I learned that this morning at 8 a.m. So, I had to reschedule everything.
Well, you guys are going to a cabin?
We're going to a chalet now.
What's a chalet?
I don't know. A fancier cabin? Not really. I don't know the definition of a chalet. But it's like...
Is Sam coming to this party?
Not on the 5th. The 5th is for ladies only.
Oh, man. Is that lingerie day?
That's the lingerie night.
I can't. There's too many words on the screen.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't fuck with it.
It's a fucking movie.
But if you watch Star Trek, it becomes part of this alien race of robots. He's got like this shit on him. He's got the red eye. Fuck it. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember what it's called. Man.
It doesn't even matter.
Sorry, my college roommate would be really pissed off at me right now.
Chris, you didn't do it.
Yeah, well, he loved it, and we watched that movie 5 million times, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, that's okay.
Man, when I was in undergrad college, I had a VHS player, like a tape VCR. Sorry.
For my birthday, I got a VHS and DVD combo player. Bam, technology.
You're like, I'm not going to commit. I'm going to hedge my bets.
I'm going to do both.
And like, so like at whatever, this time, like we didn't have cable.
Yeah.
Because why would you pay for that?
Why?
And you couldn't stream shit. Like that wasn't a thing. It wasn't,
internet wasn't. Well, no, internet was.
Yeah, but you couldn't stream shit. Like even Netflix, you would get like the DVDs in the mail. Like their streaming service, their streaming service didn't even exist.
Yeah.
So like we had a couple of movies but like 2 of them that was like nonstop. Besides Dragon Ball Z. That's not a movie though, but like that's
a lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like that was the life, man.
That was the life.
I remember the first time my state of mind got altered, and I listened to the music in Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, "Wow, this is the best show I've ever seen in my life."
My introduction into TV Dragon Ball Z was when Goku was running on the I'm about to say
Snake
Rainbow
Way.
Road.
Snake Way.
Snake Way.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So it was like 15 minutes, 20, the whole episode, he's just running. And then you got all these commercials, and then you have like the explanation of the show, like in the commercial. And I was like, man, fuck this. And then I didn't see it again until after I graduated.
I'm glad you got into it.
I did.
Because like people who like Dragon Ball Z are way cooler than people who don't.
Yeah. It's like that's a badge.
Yeah, like when do you ever notice? Yeah, when you meet someone that likes you, you're like, oh, you're not lame.
It's like you're cool.
Yeah, I could like
we can be friends.
Yeah, like we're good. Like no matter what else is going on,
we're good.
We got this.
DBZ.
Yeah, like you like this politician, I like this one. What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
What are you guys doing?
Podcast.
Recording a video.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Always.
that's what I told you we were going to be doing.
All right, I'll be back in about an hour.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Andre.
What's up, dude? You want to come be on the show?
Okay.
Come
Okay.
on, bring it over. My son's here.
Kid time. What's up, dude?
How was pizza, bro?
Awesome.
Yeah. We only got one mic. You got 2 mics. You got to come over. You want to say hey? Did you go to the playground?
Yes.
What'd you do at the playground?
I played Caroline. My friend from class wasn't there.
Who was it?
Caroline.
Oh, Caroline was there. What'd you guys do?
We didn't really play together.
Oh, you were just like, hey, I know you. Bye, Caroline.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you guys play Among Us?
Nope.
You didn't play Among Us?
No, she's a girl, so she doesn't like it. She doesn't like that game.
That doesn't. Well, that's not true.
She doesn't like that game though.
That's not because
Yeah.
she's a girl.
I know.
She just doesn't like it.
I don't
doesn't like it.
I'm not a girl. I don't like that game. I know. You love it though.
I love it.
I just learned that the whole point of the game is to be the imposter, and that's the fun part.
Yes.
You're like, ha, ha, I'm gonna be bad and mess up your stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's fun.
yeah. My Twitch experience was watching some of my friends play Among Us.
I
And was
love
like,
Among Us.
Yeah, I've seen.
Why
cool-
do people don't like Among Us sometimes? It's so weird.
I don't know. Some people are just kind of weird, aren't they?
I don't like Among Us.
And that's why you're weird.
If you keep saying Among Us, it just sounds like you're saying Among Us.
Yeah.
Among Us.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought he was saying before I knew what it was.
Oh yeah, just like what's Among Us?
I didn't know what it was.
That's how Marley sounds.
What else did you guys do at the playground?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Was pizza good?
No.
Pizza wasn't good?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Why not? Pizza's always good.
And your pie wasn't good.
That's impossible.
I mean, your pie can be pretty.
I'm
fire.
lying.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like that's
I
a
was like,
fib.
dude, pizza's always good, bro.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. Pizza's horrible.
You want to stay on the show or you want to play Nintendo?
I want to play Nintendo.
Go grab it. Go upstairs, okay, buddy? Unless you want to stay on the show.
I'll play by here.
Yeah, but play upstairs.
Okay.
Only because like the sound gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it like comes into here, and then it sounds like we have crazy things joining us for the show.
Yeah, but if you wanted to be on the next one, I have 3 mics. If you ever, you know that. If you ever want to be in the podcast.
You can podcast it up. With
One time when me and you tried to do a podcast and then you just left.
You're like, bye.
You're like, yeah, I'm
Peace
gone.
out.
I'm out of
Bye.
here. You got it, buddy?
Yeah, Marley's like, what's up, my little human man?
Yeah, but I just can't get into Among Us though. Like, I don't know. If anybody out there that's alive or has kids has probably heard of the game.
Yeah.
It is lame.
I've recently learned what it is. I knew what the little people were because people
Yeah.
were drawing them.
Yeah.
Like satisfying watercolors.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out
You got
what
it, buddy?
was. All right, homie.
You go chill in the Big Joe upstairs, okay, brother? Okay. Andre, I love you, bro. Thanks, man.
I love you more though.
Ah,
Yeah, you know I love you more.
you got me. You got me. We're just talking about the heartstrings earlier,
heartstrings,
man.
bink,
I was
bink.
like, you got me, bro.
Pulling on him is like,
Yeah. I was like, yeah, dude, you can play Nintendo all day.
you can do whatever you want to. I love you too.
Oh, man, what were we talking about before you came in?
Stuff.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh, man, I wasn't done talking about it. I don't remember. I
I don't either. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was getting pissed off because I couldn't remember Star Trek. But that wasn't what I actually wanted to talk about. I can't remember what it was.
We were talking about how cool people who know Dragon Ball Z are.
Oh, that is cool.
And that's about it.
Oh, yeah, it
I'm sure
wasn't.
there was other stuff.
No, I don't think it was Dragon Ball Z related, but I am glad that you like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it was a good one. I am sad that, remember, those are the DVDs I didn't get.
Yeah, he lost
In
it.
my exiting.
He lost it on a relational exit.
Yeah, it's like, all right, bye.
I don't know. I feel like you got to fight for those.
I had to fight for my anatomy test. That was so hard to take. That hard teacher, it was her test.
Why'd you have to fight for it?
Because I got up early to study for that test.
Okay.
And then in the midst of me getting ready, they were like, get out.
Oh.
And that's when we were talking about squatter rights and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
There's some episode reviews.
Yeah.
Reviews.
Yeah, just go back and listen
A review and review are different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's true. It's kind of like reaching back, seeing what's going on with those episodes.
I was like, what were we reaching back to? I was like, what other word was reaching?
No. Someone like,
Sorry.
Someone like was like, man, like, I guess they're not used to listening to like long form conversations.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And they're like, well, how do I listen to this? It's so long. Some of like the last episode was 3 hours of sheer amazing shit. That was a good one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that was good. That was.
But
fun.
you laughed at me because I say everyone's my favorite one.
Yeah, you're like, that was the best one we've ever done.
It was
like,
a good one.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Every time is fun. So
yeah, they get better if you listen to them. Like like it sounds more and more legit every time.
I had a friend tell me that they will while they're listening to it, they'll like interject their own like, oh, I know what you're talking about, and they're like, you can't hear me because it's a podcast.
Yeah, so that's how you listen to. So I listen to all podcasts, but I like the long, unedited conversations. Like those are my favorite ones. Like, and I'm like, yeah, you can listen to it. You probably won't listen all the way through.
Yeah,
but it's on demand. So when you want to reach back, you can
boom, and you, like your Spotify and stuff like that, it'll just leave off where you left off.
Yeah, exactly. You just go back to it. Or if it's something like we end up talking about Dragon Ball Z for 3 hours, and you're not into it. That's cool.
Skip it. It's
fine, it's cool.
We're gonna talk about it again.
Yeah, or just go to the next one or whatever. But it's like one long conversation. So that's how I listen to podcasts. Or I'll come back and be like, oh, I never finished the second half of that one, and I'll hit it. I'm like, word.
Like, there it is.
Yeah. So, and then like I've had people tell me like, I feel like I know you guys or whatever. Yeah. And so it's like this isn't negative. It's like a one-sided relationship, right?
Yeah.
Only because like we don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
You could leave us comments and tell us about your life.
Please do. Be your best friend. I'm all about having more buddies.
Right. Friends are the best.
Yeah, friends are the best.
Like I want to be friends with a cat that is sitting on the car across the street.
Yeah, he's looking for birds.
Yeah.
That's the deathmatch. That's deathmatch king. Is it the black one or the white one?
It's the black one. Yeah,
that's deathmatch king.
He's like, I can eat the birds.
Yeah, that's why you sit there, man. Those birds and squirrels, man. They go ham on those MFers, man.
Yeah, they're like, no one's gonna feed me. I'm gonna go feed myself.
They feed them.
Bon appetit.
That neighbor feeds them. They have like a big feral cat dish out there.
Yeah, I've seen a few cats. I've been over here, just been like done with this and about to get in my car, and I'm like, there's a cat. I'm gonna go. Try to get that.
Like, what's up?
What's up, kitty?
But that's how you listen to it. It's just like a conversation. Like you just like, I like podcasts where I feel like I'm eavesdropping in on their conversation.
Yeah, just kind of sitting. There's a really funny thing that's like, it's the outside of an ice cream truck, and on the ice cream truck there's a picture of kids playing together, and it was the thing. You know how internet memes has words. The top of it. That was a heavy-handed beverage.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me show the camera.
Bam. Golden.
Yeah. Oh.
So image of kids playing on the side of an ice cream truck. And then it's like me listening to podcasts. And it's a little boy just really enthusiastic looking at the picture of the other kids.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like. It's like, look, I'm watching you guys play, but I'm not actually involved, but I'm still very much involved.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's just like, it's just a conversation that just keeps going. It's like if you watch
podcast, how to listen to podcasts.
Just however you want to, man.
Just listen to it.
Yeah, just enjoy it. You don't have to sometimes we're talking about dumb stuff. Sometimes it's deep. You just kind of go back.
Kind of weaves in and out of like, hey, this is some like really important things that we should all know as people because we're all connective and we are experiencing life together.
Those are my favorite.
It's like then we'd cut dicks off and there's coagulant blood just like blurp.
It wasn't coagulated. It was just black tar ooze. That's why it made it crazy. It had a weird tinge to it. I've never smelt that smell. I can smell it right now.
Smells are interesting. Like I said, they bypass something. Yeah, your olfactory, you're like, I'm my own thing.
Yeah, they go straight to the brain, baby.
Yeah, they're like, bam.
Here we are.
We're here. We're just gonna.
But like my favorite podcasts too, but like my favorite like conversations with like people who aren't being recorded, or like where there's just fun, man. Like just like you're talking about things that are like nonchalant, things that are stupid, things that are important, like the biggest issues, like smallest issues, like weaved in and out. Like those are really good conversations when you get done with them. It's
just to like hear it and be like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, man, things get too heavy. You can only handle heavy for so long, and you're like, and it's like,
like, didn't we just experience like enough heavy?
Like with what?
Life.
Yeah, I was going to say like which part of life?
A to Z.
Yeah, like that's why a lot of people are saying like, yeah, 2020 sucked. I'm like, yeah, it did suck, but like, I don't know, did it? I don't know. I mean, like
personally, I got 8 weeks off. I got paid afterwards for back pay. I bought a house. Sam bought a car. I had fun playing with the car. I get to drive that car.
I've been in the car once.
It's a badass car.
It is a nice car.
And so I personally can't complain. I got 0 complaints, but I'm not a complainer.
It's true.
In general.
But yeah, I mean, people got sick and died. I don't know how many people actually died from COVID. A lot of people died with COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, the number one comorbidity.
You have a car accident and be like, you're tested positive for COVID and you died of COVID.
Yeah, I mean, the number one comorbidity for COVID is being obese. Obese.
Which that's just a hard
I said
life
obese. That's even cooler. Obese.
Beast up in here.
Yeah, so like, you know, in America, like that's like one of our...
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just hard in general. Like, not even down to like how your body's not responding well with itself, but like structurally, like your joints are like, whoa, I wasn't designed to hold this much.
Yeah.
My feet weren't, my knees weren't, my hips weren't, your heart isn't, you know, it's like it wasn't meant for that.
Yeah, and like this is coming from a guy that almost died from COVID or with COVID.
Yeah.
Depending on how you want to like look at it or whatever. I don't think I have any other comorbidities that I know of. Like everything else is like pretty squared away, but and I'm still like, I mean, it was awful. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel my soul meat sack is different than it used to be. Like the physical meat of me is different. But there's some good things that came out of it. So like I look back on it, like it's the business how you like to look at it. I mean, I get it. Like
I'm an optimistic human being.
Yeah, like my best friend died that 2020. You know what I mean?
That
like
shit was terrible.
Oh man, it was so bad.
So bad.
There's nothing good that could come out of that. So I can't be like, so like if his mom's listening or whatever. I mean, like but it happened. So it's like, you know, how do you not handle it, but like, how do you move on or live with it?
Cope with it? Experience it?
Yeah, experience is better because live with it and cope with it sound like it's
something that happened. It's not happening anymore.
Well,
like it's
going to be negative no matter what. If you're living with something or coping with it, like you don't have a choice. If you use those language around the thing, it's negative.
Yeah.
So the fact that my best friend's not here is very not positive. Right. You know what I mean? It's not how if I had 3 wishes, I was thinking about it. If we talked about it, that would be one. But I gotta get him back.
Yeah.
I say
that one we need.
Yeah. You know, this was, I've thought about the 3 wishes thing like way before he died. So like I had those 3 wishes locked in. So Marley, you would not talk.
Yeah,
I would take.
You would live forever, but
the other wish would be.
She just kind of winked too. So she's like, "Fuck it, I don't need to talk. You don't need to know the things I know."
Yeah, but you know, I can't think of anything positive that came from that. But like, there's I was thinking about the other day. Like, did 2020 suck? It's like, yeah, there were some things that were hard and awful, but I don't know. I guess there's hard and awful things that come in everyone's life all the time. It's just like a lot of things were like we shared in common as a people. Like
I do think that was like if you had to be super optimistic and go for the silver lining, like we all experienced something, young and old. It wasn't just like this is something the adults are experiencing and the children are kind of not going through it as too.
Yeah.
Like people as young as 3 years old experience the same kind of a super hardship just as any other person did.
Yeah.
And they had to adapt and they had to figure it out and like cope with it. Deal with it, experience it in all forms. And I haven't lived that long, but I've never experienced anything like that affected everyone the same way.
It was weird. And the one thing that was really weird is like, you would think it would be like, I thought it was going to be like something like 9/11. Yeah. When America kind of came together for like, I don't know if you remember that. Like it was like,
I was still pretty young when that
but everyone
happened.
Was just like,
they did rally behind
whatever we need to do.
Let's do it
together. Like it wasn't, there was like tribalism stopped. It was like we're the tribe is America. Like that's the tribe as opposed to like black, white, golden, Democrat, Republican, angry, happy tribe, whatever. I thought that was going to happen. Like, we're going to help each other. Like we're American or we're people. Yeah. I'll say American because that's where we live at. You know what I mean? Like at least, geographically we're band together to help our team. I feel like it went the other way, man. That was kind of wild, man.
Yeah. Collectively wasn't all.
Yeah, but I get it though, because like people are stressed out, people are getting sick, people are dying, you're losing your job, and financial
people
stress.
had very different views on it. You still have some people who are like now just being like, okay, I know COVID's real, it's not a fake thing, but they're like things are being blown out of proportion, and then other people are like, everyone needs their vaccine.
Well, it is weird, man, because
there's very different sides.
Yeah, it's very political. Like a lot of things were done based off of politics.
Yeah, weird to be in an election in an election year.
Yeah,
that was a lot of vowels.
Yeah, the weirdest thing was like some of these politicians were putting all these lockdowns on people, and certain situations, but then would go out to restaurants and not wear masks and do all this stuff or keep their business open and then close the other ones down. It was just like,
it was very cherry picking.
Well, it was very corrupt. I was like, like you're going to use this, say you're going to tell me what I can't do, but then you're going to go do the opposite. So like it doesn't apply to you, the rule maker, but it only applies to me. Like, I didn't dig that.
It's like,
it was like
that
people,
cool.
it was like a lot of people were trying to be the slave and the slave master at the same time. Like they want the burden of being the slave, but they're also the slave master and they dictate and the rules don't apply to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like woke culture, like when people want to be the slave and the slave master. Like you can't get the benefits of being a white dude. I get all the benefits of whatever that is, but then also act like I'm the slave. Like I feel all this pain for whatever. Like you can't, it's weird sometimes when people try to live both. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Like,
that's why duality is really hard for some people.
Yeah.
Because they see both, but then there's all the other areas, and like duality has a really hard phase of either like getting through it or learning through it and understanding it, and then having that conflict.
Yeah, this thing was douchebags.
Yeah.
There's political douchebags. You're like, I just want to do these things to get brownie points because like my team wants me to lock everything down or not lock it down, whichever one. But then I'm going to go. Or like one of them was cool. I can't remember which was the Arizona mayor. I can't remember one of the ones that locked everything down. And then like, during Thanksgiving was like, or Christmas, it was like, don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Don't go to your families.
But then he flew to where in Texas or whatever, and had a big old Thanksgiving thing with his family after he changed like the mandates in his county.
It's like, man, fuck you.
Yeah, or whatever. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's like don't use the system to work for you.
Yeah, so like I felt that it was very odd how like we took something that should have been based off of like science, like, hey, what's going on, and like what do we think's gonna happen, and it got turned into a political shitstorm.
Yeah,
like things were based off of
still continuing.
Yeah, things are based off politics as opposed to like, no, this is what we think's gonna happen. And then another thing that's weird is like people can't say this is what we thought. Like we thought in March, or they thought in March this was gonna.
Oh, in March we were like 2 weeks. It'll be fine.
Yeah, even I was there. I was like, it'll be fine.
It'll be all right. Be like, all right, we'll reschedule some folks. That was my experience. I'd be like, we'll be back and it'll be great. Then 4 weeks later, we're like,
10 months later.
Shit.
Yeah,
right.
We're 10 months in, man.
Yeah, that was an interesting. I mean, I personally had a nice time being at home. I know other people did not get out. Even Sam, he didn't get that experience. He didn't quit working at all.
I'll tell you, as a small business owner, it fucking sucks.
I'm sure it was not fun. It's scary. You don't know what's happening. Everyone is like holding their money. They're like, I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, I lost I lost my life savings in March. In March, April.
Like,
March, April, May, I lost my life, which is fine. I'm glad I had a life savings. I had a lot of savings, but it's gone. I worked all that stuff and it was gone, which is fine. Like, it happens when you're an entrepreneur. That's part of the deal. Yeah. Like that's part of it. So I wasn't like mad at
that risk factor with it.
Yeah, but I was just like, who saw that coming, man? Like if they
nobody.
And then I got sick months later, and then I was just like, fuck this. And this is when we're talking about COVID. This is a guy that came from like I lost my life savings from the implications of it, and then I got it, and I got really sick. So I'm not like. If anyone could talk about it, I think it's me. Yeah,
you're like, I experienced it in not in a minimal way.
Yeah, in a professional way and like my physical health. So like I feel like if anyone could talk about it freely, it's me. So if I triggered you, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Fuck you, I love you, but also like meh.
Yeah, you're talking off hypotheticals. I'm talking about, no, this is what happened to me.
Yeah, this was my experience.
And this is what's happening to like the country. You know what I mean? To a point, you know. But I thought that was weird. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought it was going to be all kumbaya. I thought it was going to be all like arm around each other.
Yeah, like let's all really support each other and help each other out, and like what can we do to like help our local communities and like the community as a whole.
Yeah.
How can we stay safe? How can we be healthier?
It didn't. It might have started. I don't think it was ever that way. I think it was just always just like split, at least a double split. Like there's probably more fractals.
Especially over here, like the big cities, like, you know, we're not New York. They're
still locked down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live in Georgia, man. We gotta go on.
How many months was it before we're like, do you even fucking know anybody who has it? It was probably August before I knew someone who I personally knew somebody who had it, either their friend, family, or just an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh yeah, I was just quarantined for 2 months. You know, between like I got it, then my spouse got it, and then someone at work got it, and it's like, fuck.
It's weird how it makes people feel different. But I guess, is it really because like people get a cold and like if I had a cold and you caught the cold, like we both have a cold, but like maybe I get it really bad. You experience
it differently. So
and like I got a sore throat and a headache and a cough. And you're like, I just got a stuffy nose.
Yeah, my body kind of hurts.
Yeah, or whatever.
I couldn't sleep well. Oh, big stretch, kitty. Sorry, you guys can't see this cat, but he just did a big stretch. But I guess his little ears go back and they go, oh. Sorry, cats.
I can't see him, man.
Yeah.
But I know what you were talking about. Like, those are my buddies. I sit there and look at them.
He's cute.
That's my guy. They're just sitting there looking for birds to pounce on.
So I know we don't normally like prep anything, but there's 2 colors. There's a new
Periwinkle.
No.
You said periwinkle in the last episode.
I did say periwinkle last time.
I giggled every time I listened to it. I was
there are 2 new colors. One new color that I mean like 2009 new.
How could you have a new color?
It's amazing.
Like it's never been mixed before in the history of colors.
I guess so. And it's
Don't believe it. I'm calling foul.
Don't call foul. I Googled it.
So you know it's real.
So this first new blue pigment in 2 centuries. So it was accidentally created in 2009 at Oregon State University. And I'll tell you what it actually has in it, but I'll tell you first of like why. So it looks like royal blue.
Okay.
Which is nice. But it's like if royal blue and electric blue were like bam, bam, spam,
getting it on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And that baby grew up and would like grew into its cheekbones kind of thing.
It's like a chirpy queen.
It's like,
ooh,
it's a good color.
It's a nice color.
How would you say this? It's like it's a Y-N or a Y-I-N-M-N. A capital Y, capital I, lowercase n, capital M, lowercase n. And it's named after some elements. How would you pronounce that?
Where's it at? Oh,
The very top.
I wouldn't.
It wouldn't. Okay.
That looks like a chemical formula.
It is a chemical formula. So it's made out of the components it's from, and it has iodium, magnesium, and I don't even know that Y one.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick. You're better at words than I am.
Is that a real word?
It looks like an element.
I don't think that's a real element.
Okay. Well, for those of you who are interested.
I don't think it's on the periodic table, put it that way.
Okay. It is YTTRIUM. Then iodium and magnesium. And it is very pigmented and it's beautiful. And then there's this black color.
How can you have a new black? That doesn't say. I feel like we're getting into nonsense.
It's not a new. It's not a new black. It is a the blackest of blacks. So it
midnight.
It doesn't have. It absorbs around 94 to 98% of light. Most blacks, like a general, like acrylic black, will absorb that much. This black absorbs 99.4 visible light.
Whoa.
So someone created like this small room. So say you just had like 4 built up walls and he spray painted in this particular black.
I feel like it'd steal my soul.
Musu? How would you say that? Musou? You see it in there?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Musou? I don't know. My phonetic spelling, you guys have heard my story. Like, needed glasses, immigrant parent. Phonetics ain't it for me.
That is cool that you know someone that listens to the podcast and they interject their opinion. That's pretty good.
It was cute.
That is cool.
It was Rachel. Shout out to Rachel. We love you.
From the office, Rachel? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. I'm glad she still listens.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. We were making jokes because originally it was her husband on the schedule. And he'd been putting in subfloors. And then when I saw her walking up, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to take his appointment. And I was like, I appreciate that.
That's what's up.
She's like, I needed it. And I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, she told me one time she was listening to the podcast, and it was one of her cussy ones at work. And we just started dropping F-bombs.
We did a lot of F-bombs that day.
Well, yeah, when you first start, like, you don't know how to, like, talk to the mic. Do you need to do this voice? You know what I mean?
It's like, what do I do?
Because it sounds cool, like, in the earphones. But, like, when you're listening to a podcast, it's kind of stupid when you do that. You know what I mean? Like, if you do it.
And we were a little inebriated.
It's true, but that makes it cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, what? And then that one.
The F-bomb on bourbon.
Yeah. Well,
it's a whole vibe.
Yeah, so that was a whole thing. And then sometimes you just have to get it out. It's like, how much do you, I don't know. You just have to get it out.
Yeah. Let's see.
Sometimes the bourbon just makes it, like, the foul mouth come out.
Yeah, right. The butt fart.
Butt fart shit.
Butt fart dick fart.
Get it out, get it out.
So that was my 2 cents. There was 2 new colors, and I was like, bet.
So I still don't believe that they're new colors.
The black isn't new. It's just it's a really deep black, and it absorbs a lot of light. Like the gentleman doing the video, he had like those fun light bulbs that look like old timey. I guess you know what I mean.
It's got like you can see
you
spinning.
You can see
the
like
coil or whatever.
The coil.
It's not called the coil.
It's
the filament.
Filament.
Yeah.
That's
filament.
a word.
Boom.
And you can see how and it.
Sorry.
And it just absorbed all the light. Like, you couldn't see him at all. Like, there was one part where you could see, like, light being reflected off, and that was only because it was wet. Like, the paint was still wet.
Whoa.
That's how dark it was. So he opens it up, and he's like, here's an illusion. So he walks inside, and he just looks like he gets smaller. Like, you can't see the floor. You can't see the back wall. So it's just like an optical illusion. They have a few cars that are made in this deep black, and it looks like the void. It looks like void of everything.
That's crazy. I like matte black cars. That's for me. Like, if I ever get a fancy car, I'm getting it matte black.
Matte black.
Yeah, I want it.
You can
wrapped.
get that wrap, so you can get your favorite car, and if it's not matte black, then boom, you can wrap it. P-Tap right around the corner. They do that.
Yeah, I see that. It's good.
It's expensive, but
yeah, but if you can get a fancy car,
yeah, it's like you can wrap it.
you know, in San Diego, I was talking to a friend. I went to San. Every time I go to San Diego, it trips me out. Because when you go there, their gas stations, they have like the regular gas.
And they have the electric pump.
They have that. Mm-hmm. But then they also have a fourth gas, which is for like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff.
It's like 93.
Excuse me. I'm not sure what octane it is, but it's for high performance cars.
Yeah.
That's how nice the place was every time I would go for a company trip out to like.
You're like, Zion,
yeah, I was
nice
just like,
cars
I remember seeing it. It was like, I think it was called like super gas, supercharged gas, high performance gas, something like that. I'm like, what is that? And someone was like, that's for like Ferraris and Lambos and stuff.
Let's
and I'm
find
like,
out. Because now I'm interested. Like Sam's car needs, I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, it's crazy that those gas stations, they have like super fancy gas for like.
Well, if I just type in fancy gas.
Yeah.
Let's see what the internet throws with that. That's probably the best part of the internet is just give it nonsense and be like, figure out those algorithms.
It usually does. It's like fancy gas. It's like, oh, San Diego gas stations.
Right. Fancy gas range. We'll go with that one.
Fancy gas for Lambos.
And I got very vintage style ranges. Oh, because that says range like an oven range.
Ah, I gotcha.
Not a.
I thought maybe the internet gave you fart jokes because you said fancy gas.
Right. Now it's giving me like Circle K. Be like, bitch, you ain't fancy.
You ain't fancy.
You ain't fancy.
But that's pretty trippy. One time I went out there. I don't know if I ever told you this.
Internet failed. I don't know how to find it.
Yeah, it's fine. One time I went out there and I was eating lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And where I was eating lunch, I didn't know this, but the guy like at the booth beside me was the guy that wrote not The Promise. The Secret.
The Secret.
Everyone, you know, like the
how to manifest
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some truth to that, but there's also people think that The Secret is like, I think something and then I make it happen through magic.
I mean, you read the 9 dimensions of alchemy, then you can figure out how that works.
I'd rather read the 9 dimensions of alchemy than The Secret.
Yeah.
The Secret's okay.
It is a really good book. The 9. Let me make sure I'm getting that.
It's one of your 10 books that you've ever read.
Yeah. There's not many books that I've read, but that is one of them.
I half-assed made you read a book one time. What was that book?
And I read that book like the night before we were supposed to discuss it.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of giving you a deadline to discuss it.
Yeah, be like, read it.
What book was that?
The Go-Giver.
Which one? The red one? Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that book. If I were to write a book, that would be one of the books that would come out of my brain.
That's what I want. Oh, maybe if I spelled things correctly.
But you know what? I can't remember how many laws there are on the Go-Giver off the top of my head. I think there's 4. But if you read that book, it's a fantastic book. But every time I bounce anything through those 4 laws of the Go-Giver, it always works out for me. And you know what? Sometimes I forget about that.
And you're like, oh yeah, I already remember how to do that.
Well, it's a beautiful filter of infinite resources. Like give and then you shall receive. You know what I mean? Like it's just a beautiful book of helping and getting. It's a great book.
It is a good book. You remember the my boss that fired me and I quit nicely?
Yeah. The one that fired you and then you didn't leave.
I stayed for the training.
Yeah, he's like, you're good,
you can
man.
Go.
Like, you know.
It's The Alchemy of the 9 Dimensions. And the one that I read was the 2011-2012 Prophecies, which was written by someone else. Just some added information.
Okay.
It was good.
But it's the same book with like a different chapter or something?
Yeah, Miss Barbara Handclaw.
All right, Miss Barbara Handclaw might be coming at you. I've been looking for some new books.
Yeah, it's a good one. So like I said, it goes through like what they explain the different dimensions being. And they give it to you in like a science.
Science, motherfucker.
Science shit. So it's pretty good.
So I began into like this thought. This like it's I don't know how to. It's a word. It's a thought experiment. A philosophical trap.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's a trap.
Yeah, like because you can't prove it right or wrong. Mm-hmm. Right. So I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
so like
yes.
Yeah, it's really good. So like what's the right word? Like, say if you were God, like we're all like, if you're God, I'm God, or whatever, or we're all gods, or if you believe like the Spirit is inside of you, so part of God is inside of you, whatever, you know, however you want to phrase it. Like, I don't want to get into like a theological debate or whatever, but just the idea.
Like, don't add us, but
yeah, you know what I mean? Just the idea that, you know, like if God is in us or you're God, like what would you do? Right?
Yeah.
So when you go to sleep, you can control your dreams, right?
Yeah.
You can dream anything you want to do, anything you want to, because you can do whatever you want, right? So if you could do that, what would you do? Like, so every night you go to sleep, it'd probably be a lifetime every dream. It'd be like 80 years in 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably like, okay, I could live a whole lifetime every time I go to sleep. That's just an idea that you could do. And then the first month or a couple of weeks of that, you would probably live in paradise. You would have everything you want. Like everything would be a perfect utopia. Right?
Yeah.
And then eventually you would get bored of going to sleep, because you would know it's going to be a perfect. Like, So then you would start dreaming of dragons and like rescuing people and situations and explosions and stuff like that. You know,
putting some danger, nothing always being perfect.
Exactly. But it was still, you would do that, but then that would get boring because you know that you're God. Yeah. And then you're going to wake up and this dragon's not real. Right? Yeah. So then what would you eventually do? You would probably push the limits of your power or of your godness. I can't think of a better way to put it. So don't think too much into this.
Yeah.
So then when you would go to sleep and dream, you would fit a whole lifetime into a dream probably, but then you would make it where you don't know that you're dreaming. So then you could actually be anxious and have fear and stuff like that. And then you wouldn't know that you're God in the dream. And then eventually if you did that enough times, out of the law of probability, it'd be me and you sitting right here.
Yeah.
So how do you know that that's not happening right now?
Oh, how do you know? It's like your whole life isn't a dream.
Yeah. And then you're not in control of it. Like you did this on purpose. And then when you wake up, then that's when you go to the big show.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen some funny little pictures like that, especially like these babies that come out and they're just like, the fuck? Like they got this look on their face. And it's like when you reincarnated and you thought you were done being a human, you come out and you're like, oh, what is this bullshit again? Yeah. Like fucking again.
But when I heard that, I was like,
pretty funny.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, what if that's true? Like, what if we, like, if you think about like that happening, like, yeah, what if we created this? And then when we wake up, it's when we die is when we wake up.
It's like, oh, we're starting over.
Yeah. It's kind of trippy. And that's kind of how the Hindus look at life. They look at life as a drama as opposed to a construct. Mm-hmm. Like this, like, you know, in the Western world, we look at like things were built by Legos. Like we built it like a construct, like because we built it, right? Which is kind of cool that Jesus, like like it's kind of cool. He's the son of a carpenter, which is kind of cool when you think about that,
it's
right?
It's like I build things.
Yeah, which is cool, but like how they look at the world or life or whatever is that it's dramatic. Mm-hmm. It's a drama. So like God is playing in the drama with us as we go through. Oh, so then if we're all, so if we all have God inside of us and like we could possibly be doing this to ourselves, the dream, then like we're all God's hiding from ourselves. We're playing hide and go seek in this drama.
We're like, I don't know my special powers.
Yeah. And then we wake up, then we're in the afterlife or whatever. And that's how they kind of look at it. And I was just like, wow. But this was a cool thought experiment because you can't prove it right or wrong. Yeah. Like you can't say that we're not doing that. We didn't wish that. Like we didn't know that we had the divine power to do this stuff. And then we wake up and so you can't prove it right or wrong. Yeah. So it's a theological effort.
Yeah. And it's like, think about that in the middle of the night.
That's what I do. I was reading about it. I was like, oh man, that's fun to think about.
It's going to keep me up.
Yeah.
And keep pondering down the rabbit holes.
Yeah. It's kind of like we look at like Western world, we look at reality as wood. Like it's solid. Like reality is this is a piece of wood, and then I read that like Hindu, so I don't know if it's India or just like people in that particular faith look at the world or like our lives or the world as smoke. Oh. Like it's still real,
changing,
but it's real. Mm-hmm. But if you had to say which one is realer, like there's a different variance between a piece of wood and smoke. Yeah, like you would say they're both a real thing, but if you're like which one is solid, that's one. So they look at like what we're doing as smoke. So it's all a dream, and you don't need to lean on it. Oh, like we'll lean on the things. We want to figure out the atoms and the things, and they're like, no, you don't need to worry about that.
You don't even need to don't even stress your mind about that.
Yeah, because when you wake up, you'll see. Yeah, and I heard that I was like, what?
Well, and that's the whole thing.
When you wake up, you'll see.
Waking up.
Yeah, and I was like, when you wake
up, asleep, not being conscious.
Yeah, but it does hurt. I was just thinking about that. I was like, okay, all this makes sense. I'm like in this big philosophical like conundrum in my head, and I read or listened to like when you wake up, you'll see. I was like, Yeah, man. I was like, that's so awesome. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what it means exactly, but I was like, that's so
but
awesome.
I feel it.
I do feel it, man. Because I was like, I'm just like, you can't prove it right or wrong. It's just kind of cool. Like,
it's like, it is fun. That is a fun rabbit hole to go down. I always get into that kind of headspace if I'm like, go on long walks and like after being outside and then like taking a seat and like taking everything in and like this headspace that you just get to like indulge in. Me and Sam, whenever we go walking, like usually we're not talking.
Yeah.
Like it's just enjoying, some like nonverbal exchanges and then very minimal actual communicating. Cause we like being quiet in the woods.
Yeah.
And it just feels different and you can like feel everything around you. And so that's usually the headspace you get to kind of go into and be like, what rabbit holes am I going down?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes if you're in nature and you mess up the silence, then you can alter it in a way that makes you comfortable, and then you don't get the uncomfortable is where the goodness is. You know what I mean? You can kind of change the environment to make it comfortable.
I just saw something that was called a forest phone.
Whoa.
So it's this gentleman laying down on his back, and this structure is pretty large. Like it took me a minute to like realize there was a man sitting there. So like if you were to take the L out of this couch, the start of like how an eardrum would be to like a megaphone, both sides.
Okay.
Something maybe this length. And then a platform for someone to lay down.
Is that what that was? I saw you post on Facebook. I was going to like call you or text you, but like, what is that? And I was like, what is that?
A forest phone. And kind of like, we were talking about it last time.
Google it because the picture is insane. I didn't know what it was when she posted. I was like, I was looking at it. It takes a
second because it's very, like the picture's taken pretty far back. Like I said, it took me a minute to realize that there was a man laying in between these two structures.
I didn't want to ask you about it because I felt lame. Because I was like, I should know what that is. But I was like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
It was really great. But I mean, even just that, like cupping around your ears. We were talking about that last time with like, if you change the shape of your ear.
Yeah. Cartridge.
We're not printers.
Need a cyan. Give me a cyan.
The cartilage. If that would change your hearing and amplifying it by making a cone around your ear and then turning it backwards. That sounds really crazy if you do that in the woods, especially if you're like by a lake and you hear frogs and you take your pinky side to your hand or to the side of your head to let your hand like be a cup the other way and hear what's behind you and like how it amplifies is really cool.
Whoa. Now I know what that is. As soon as you said that, I was like, I remember that picture I saw you post.
Forest phone.
Yeah, Google it because it's trippy. I didn't know what it was. I'm going to go back and like re-look at it.
I would love to experience that.
Yeah, I want that. Now that I know what it is. Yeah. I thought it was just some weird.
Especially to have a platform to just lay down, not to just like, I've seen science museums where they have like discs in opposite corners of the rooms and you can like talk to your friend and you're like, I hear you. Yeah. This is hearing the forest.
That's cool.
And hearing birds and wind and little bugs and all the kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can kind of hear the connectivity of it. That's cool.
Just it all kind of zooming into your ears. I can't wait to go out into the woods.
That's cool. So something we were talking about earlier, sorry, it just popped in my head. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like how like a lot of the self-help books or like pieces of some spiritual knowledge, ancient spiritual knowledge they take and like extrapolate on it, right? Which is cool, but like I kind of like that's what it is. So there's a phrase in Hinduism. I'm gonna butcher it because I can barely speak English properly. You know what I mean? So it's like
talking about English.
It's like Atnam is Braham, right? Which means like your true self is is the most significant self. That's what the two words means. Bear with me if I probably said the two words wrong. I interpreted it a little bit different, but like when I heard that and like that's like something that's been around since like the beginning of time. I'm like, that's every fucking self-help book I've ever read, and I've read them all.
That everything is everything.
Yeah, well, know that your true self, like what you really are, is the most significant self.
Yeah.
And then they kind of get into like when I was reading, I'm kind of getting this idea of I don't know if you've ever heard of this of the Godhead. Have you heard that phrase? It's a very Hindu thing. I don't even know enough to talk about it because I'll sound stupid. But just so you know, the next podcast I'm probably going to be like preaching about the Godhead.
It's like I learned about it.
Yeah, I'm learning about it right now. So like I've been jumping around and that's the new thing. But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, Atam is Braham, which is like, your true self is the most significant self.
Nice.
That's a phrase that's been around since the beginning of time. And I'm like, man, spent like $5,000 on self-help books for that, man.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I should have just looked at one thing and I could have got all of that information.
Oh, what I'm really into, man, was same stuff. So like different people like Alan Watts, and there's a couple other philosophers or whatever, like on some people have like made beats, like music.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then they'll take like a chunk of like their lecture and they'll make a song out of it.
Yeah.
And,
that's like, a lot of, I have a lot of music
love those,
that I
man.
love that have like, a lot of the stuff I've listened to sounds like it's from the 40s, 50s, and it's like someone explaining like either new ways of like psychotherapy or stuff like that. And they'll have these little blurbs of like conversation or like information in general, and then blurping it into music.
I love it. And then they'll make like the ones that I really like to make like a hook or a chorus out of something. So like I'm jamming to the hook, but like it's part of this, it's the main part of the lecture, so like it like really puts it in my head.
Spangle does one of that. He has
Spangle. That sounds
Spangle.
Is that German?
He's a DJ. No,
he's not German.
No,
the way you said it was very German.
Spangle. I was gonna say he's like he makes music, but he has these blurps. A New Way to Say Hooray is the song, and it's Terrence McKenna. And he's like, so you let us assume you take your third toke, long and slow. You vaporize, and you take it in and in and in, and there is a sound like the crumpling of a bread wrapper, the flicker of the flame, and then there's this tone, and then he goes into a spiral ascension, and he goes, and then it blasts off into a beat.
It's awesome.
It's such a good song.
So I've been like pumping that in my head too. So like it's cool. Like I love it. There's one same guy. I would give you shouts out. Akira the Dawn. That's who it is. Akira the Dawn on Apple Music is like on fire with like some of the stuff that we're talking about. Real good. And he I don't know if you know who Jordan Peterson is. He's
not ringing a bell at the moment.
He's really cool. He gets a bad rap because like people think he's like anti-woman or something. He's not. He's not at all. People just don't listen to what he's saying. If that makes sense.
They kind of misinterpret. They hear what they want to hear.
Well, because like he got really popular or he got popular for whatever reason for two things. It was about two things. And like in Canada, like 2-3 years ago, they made a law to make compelled speech where like you had to say "zer" and "her," not her, but like androgynous pronouns.
The other pronouns.
And like so he went against that law, and like everyone was like, "Oh, you're transphobic and you hate people that are different or whatever," and he was like, "No, I don't care about that." He's like, but what he was saying is like, you can't tell me what I have to say. Like that's a nasty road of fascism and dictatorship. And he's like, I don't care about the trans people. He's like, that's not my issue.
It's like I don't have a problem with that.
But you can't make it a law where you can fine me or arrest me because I won't say a certain word. You know what I mean? And like so, like he took a lot of heat for that and became popular for that. So he's not like against transgender or anything. Because I've listened to almost everything he's ever done on the internet. But like he's against the law. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's something they would never do in America. Like he's in Canada. That's where he's from. Like you can't do that here. You can't like change, like it's the First Amendment. Like you can't make us say a certain thing. And then he got really,
and some of his lectures are in this band you're talking about.
And he also got really popular because he was like, he's a clinical psychologist. So he's a medical doc. He's a really smart dude. Like he does research on personality differences and traits. So when it comes to people's opinion on certain things about what I'm about to talk about, like he knows what he's talking about. Like he knows the actual clinical research. And it was about the gender pay gap.
Okay.
So like he got like so like you know you go on these like CNN shows or whatever shows he goes on, it's like sound bites or whatever. So they try to sound bite him, and like what he was saying, he was like the difference. He wasn't saying there isn't a wage gap. He's saying that it's multifactorial, and one of the factors is gender. So it's not like me and you are different genders, so I'm going to get paid more and you're going to get paid less. He was saying that the fact that you're a woman, I'm a man is one of the factors, but he's like, there's 7, I don't know if this is true, whatever number, 10 other personality traits that men and women have different that dictate that. I don't know if that makes sense.
I kind of get what you're getting at.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I haven't read.
Yeah, it's okay. But like he got like all these people are like, oh my God, he's saying, he's saying that women aren't this. And he was like, no, it's like one of the smaller factors is the way you look and I look. Like you look like a woman, I look like a man. That plays a part in it. But he was like, our personality traits are the things that we'll do are different.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like for like one of them is like guys generally will do dangerous jobs.
Yeah.
Like women generally don't go on oil rigs and
it's like I got humans to take care of.
Yeah, exactly. That's not like doesn't make men better or women better. It's just a thing that's different.
It's just a thing, and people do get hazard pay.
Yeah, exactly. Like people that work on if you go work on an oil rig, there's you don't have to have a certain level of education or whatever. It's something you can do if you're willing to do it. You know what I mean? You get paid a certain amount, or like danger.
Like the folks who go out and like get like crabs from Alaska.
Danger. That was another factor. Dangerous jobs. Women don't tend to take dangerous jobs like when men do, right? So again, it doesn't make men better. I would say that makes men stupider. Like you know what I mean?
Like you dumb. Like why are you taking that job?
Men will move. Men are more prone to move for a job. Women are more like, no, man, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to move to Alaska.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever, anywhere you don't want to move. Like, and again, that doesn't make men better or women better. It's just different. Like, it's just a personality trait difference. And like, I could go through them. There's a whole bunch of them that it was just
something he was pointing out.
Yeah, there is like a wage gap, but he's not saying it's not because like I have a wiener and you have a vagina. Like, that's not that's a difference. It is one. Like, so that's, that is one, but he's saying, but there's like 10 other ones. Like, like you won't, women tend not to do dangerous jobs. Like that's just the easy one. Like, you know what I mean? So, but he took a lot of shit for that. Like, but like he went on all these interview shows and they were just trying to like dumb talk to him. And he was like, he's so smart.
It's like, I know all the things.
Yeah. And like, he always, if you can go and they're like Jordan Peterson comebacks, it's like, because he's really smart. Yeah, he's real particular with his words. Like people are loose with their words, whatever. And he's like, no, that's not what that means. And like he's like real good with it. So
yeah, I appreciate people who are like that. You kind of have to have like that first barrier of like, oh, this person's telling me I'm doing something wrong, and to kind of like, okay, ignore that filter. Like just shut up and listen and learn.
Yeah.
So I go through a lot of states of that because I am pretty bad with my words in some aspects.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that
especially if you're debating and arguing with someone and you're like,
and you have a little bit of emotion behind it.
But you're saying these words and you think they mean something, but the words don't mean that. So the other person, like for him, he's like, that's not what that sentence means.
Yeah.
It means this.
Sam hits me with that sometimes. And I'm just like, you kind of have to be like, man, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do. And then you're like, you know what?
It means what it means to me.
Take it back. Yeah. It's like, you know what I mean, but it is good to know where your language comes from. And going back, I mean, I've mentioned it before. It's like there is power behind words. There's power behind the vibration behind that word.
You said spells and spelling.
Behind the spelling and spell of the word.
Try to move my hat. It doesn't exist.
Like, ain't got one.
Yeah, sorry, these headphones, they feel like a hat. So anyways, well, I was listening to the last podcast and you said not magic. That's what I got from it.
We were talking about magic stuff.
But
and
you were talking about
the spell of spelling.
And I was like, man, like, I go back and I listen and I'm like, I should have like asked like 17 questions to her about that. Cause that's really interesting, right? That's one of the things I was like, if I could go back and redo the last podcast, I'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So something that I have read is the way that our tongue hits the roof of our mouth. So like positive words, negative words.
Yeah.
Dr. Emoto has done it on the effects of water, positive words, negative words. We are a lot of water. We all know what it's like to have
love that study, by the way.
Oh, it's so good.
That study changed my life when I heard it.
I mean, we've all been in a situation where someone has literally hurt us with their words.
Yeah.
And
let me explain. So that study, if you don't know
go into it.
Emoto, yeah. Sorry. He did the study about how water, because we're made up of water, right? Like whatever, 70 something. Yeah, whatever percent. There's a lot of water in us.
Yeah.
So he did the study where he got like water.
Literal jars of water, nothing fancy.
Yeah, I think he had kids.
He taped words.
He did that. He taped words on, like bad word, positive words, negative words. And then another part that was really trippy. He had like kids go up to the jar and yell mean things at it.
Yeah.
And then not yell, but then say loving words to another jar or whatever, stuff like that. And then he froze it.
Yeah. And then he watched the crystalline structure change of how the effect of these vibrations were put against water.
So the jars of water that had happy words taped to them and were spoken to, like, oh, I love you, water. You're great. Thanks for keeping me alive. And thanks for feeding fish grow in you, or whatever, like talking, like pumping the water up. If you look under a microscope, it's beautiful ice, like very symmetrical.
Yeah,
it looks like snowflakes. Very symmetrical, right? Very like by all accounts beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you look at the words that it got cussed at and yelled at, whatever, it's erratic. It's not anything. It's just like everything's everywhere, and it looks awful.
It looks chaotic.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like if you think about it, like that's something that happened, they froze it and saw it, and then like if you think of like what we say to each other and what we say to ourselves and what it's doing,
we say to ourselves, that's where this like whole spell of words, your brain
that's cool. You know that study.
Literally
that's like my favorite study.
Connect with how the words, like fuck you, that's a word that is said, the way that it reverberates in your mouth, the way that it hits your tongue against the roof of your mouth versus love, caring, empowerment. Those are different words, and they hit your brain differently because of how they hit in your mouth.
Yeah, you just think of like what it does to your.
Yeah. Even more so like learning German and like seeing these like, I guess they're MRIs or CT scans of like where the actual tongue hits and where the air will hit and how the esophagus opens up whenever these sounds are created. That's a really great way to learn how to speak. I know people who go to speech therapy, like that's something that they learn. And then learning another language, that's another aspect of it, and where it's really helpful to get the correct sound. But yeah,
it's
words
crazy.
are spells, man.
It's crazy. So I was thinking
intention. It's so good. That's my favorite.
It's up there. That study is one of my favorite studies because like it's so concrete. And you can look at it. You go online, you can Google it, like figure out what we just talked about. Google it. You can see the pictures of it.
I think it's
E-O-T-O. But you can just see it. It's crazy how beautiful like the kind words are.
E-M-O-T.
But talk about Jordan Peterson because it's kind of funny because I had a conversation with a friend of mine and she was trying to she gets paid like way less than she should. That's a friend of mine. I've known her since she was in high school. Like she's a young adult now. She was a patient of mine actually. You know, I've known her for like 10 years or whatever. Yeah. And then she was talking about like, hey, I want to ask for like a $2 raise or like I was talking to her. She's like, I want to get a raise. I was like, well, okay, I've done this a lot. Yeah. In my life, I've got raises. Like, let me tell you what you do. Like, let me give you some. Not let me tell you what you do. Let me give you some advice. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, if I just made up a number, if you ask for like $2 more an hour or whatever, and she was like, I couldn't.
I can ask for that.
No, and she was like, that's too much. And I was like, that's too much. I was like,
that ain't too much, girl.
Yeah, right. So like, that conversation is a good example of like, generally speaking, men and women, like, I don't remember the term openness or agreeableness. I can't remember, like, women are more agreeable as a whole. I know there's the outliers of unagreeable women and very agreeable men. I get it. But like, as the median, women are more agreeable than men. You know what I mean? Like, it's a trait. It's a psychological.
Obviously, as I'm saying, like, yes.
Yeah, but it's a psychological trait, not like whatever you think agreeable means, but like it's defined by like science and psychology or whatever. So like there are people that are high in agreeableness are less likely to seek confrontation in that particular aspect. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's hard to go to your boss and ask for that conversation because like an agreeable person won't do that. But it's not saying that all women are agreeable. It just says that if you look at 100 women, 100 men, more of the 100 women will be more agreeable than the men. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it doesn't mean that it can't be vice versa or whatever. Yeah. And like when I looked at it, I was like, you won't ask for $2 more an hour?
Like, get it, girl.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like to me, I was like, you should ask for like $7 more. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm like, $2. And she was like, and that's like the fact that you feel uncomfortable asking for $2. I told her like, that's why you're not going to get it.
Yeah. It's like, that's not a good attitude to go into.
Yeah. I was like, you have to go in there like, not even negotiation, but you have to know your worth and like be okay with it. Yeah. So like side story, I don't know if I ever told you the story. This is a good one. This is like a point of pride of mine. Yeah. So like when I left where I'm at now, when I moved to Atlanta, right? I don't want to put anybody on blast, so I'm not gonna say like certain names or whatever. Yeah. I worked at this clinic and I was supposed to I got a percentage of whatever, but the clinic sucks. So, like no one came. So like I got a percentage of 0. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, but it's okay. You know what I mean? So then I got a base pay or whatever, but like I took a pay cut to go there because I thought I was gonna make more money or whatever. It was a good job, but like I didn't make more money. So to my boss, when I figured out this ain't working, right? Yeah. So I went to my boss and I asked him for a $30,000 raise.
You're like, fuck your $2.
Yeah, I remember like I was talking to him about.
I'm assuming that would be like a year.
Yeah,
like
a year.
Your salary.
Yeah,
like, or not salary, but
raise.
A raise.
Yeah, $30,000 a year raise. And I remember I told Andre's mom at the time when I was going to do that. She was like, you can't do that. It's just funny how it works. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, the fuck I can't. I was like, I'm about to do it right today.
I'm doing it right now.
I was like, I'm doing it as soon as I get there. Right. Yeah. So I went in there. I just, it wasn't like a fight or anything. I just asked for it. Like,
it wasn't like a power move. It was just like,
no, it was just a meeting. I told him, I was like, we're going to have a meet. We had a meeting scheduled to talk about my pay. I went in, told him what was going on. This is what I need. Yeah. $30,000 raise. I need it or I don't know if I can work here anymore. And he was like, okay, fair.
Fair.
Biggest boss move of my life. I was like, you know what? I didn't say anything after he said it fair. I shook his hand and I walked out before I fucked it up.
It's like, I'm not going to freak out because I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah. But I remember I called everyone. I was like, yeah, I got a $30,000 raise. They're like, they offered you that? I was like, no, man.
I just got a raise.
I just made a meeting and then I asked for it. Yeah. And I got it.
It's been good.
Yeah. But like, it's just funny. So it's just like, That was his point. So, but there is a point, like men and women do get paid different based off of just the way we are, like the look of us. Like you look like a woman or like a man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that. But there's also other factors that play into it. So,
and who was the
Jordan Peterson?
But
he took a lot of slack because he was like anti-woman. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm just he's a clinical personality trait psychologist. Like these are the traits of men and women. They're different. Like, and but like traits of women are fantastic as well. But in this particular sense, they don't tend to work out for getting raises, but they're good for a lot. You know, like keeping the civil. Women are beautiful. Like our differences are beautiful. You know what I mean?
We need them. We need both.
Yeah, we need both. Like, but as far as getting paid more, like it does. The general personality differences don't play in that favor. And then there's also like sexism and stuff as well. Yeah. So he's saying sexism is real. Like that's a real sliver of the problem. Yeah. But there's these other things that also contribute to it. Yeah. Like, like I said, Andre's mom at the time was like, you can't, she literally said, you can't do that. Literally told me like, not in a mean way, but like, like, holy shit, you can't do that.
Like, wow, the audacity.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like,
what do you mean I can't ask for that?
Like, I was going to ask for 40. That's what I think I said. I was like, you know what I mean? I was like,
I toned myself down to be reasonable.
Yeah. But just personality difference, that's just a trait difference where, I went in there, like she would never do that. Even she told me after I got, she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I would have never have done that. And I was like, I did it.
Yeah. You're like,
yeah, I felt like a boss, but like just the personality differences, and like my friend, like she wouldn't ask for $2 more an hour.
Yeah,
she felt
like, girl, you are worth it.
I was like, what? You want $1? She was like, yeah. I was like, you're talking about $40 a week. I was like, why even have the conversation? You know what I mean? Like $40 is great. What's that? 40, 80, $160 a month? I mean, that's great. I want $160 too a month, but I was like, is that going to change your life?
Yeah.
Like, what,
you might pay one more bill.
Yeah, you pay, which is great, but I mean, like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Because she was a really good employee. I was like, you should get something that changes your life. Like,
get it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Glad you were able to have that conversation with her.
She didn't do it.
Oh, girl. Maybe another day. It'll still be back there.
Yeah.
It'll still be back there. Yeah, she'll be like, you know what? That motherfucker told me to do that shit. I'm going to fucking do that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying just like the same personality differences. But then, like, again, doesn't mean men are better than women, just in that particular aspect of life. But then the same drive to like succeed and compete and beat people at work and like succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of
will play against you because
can get into that because I'm not competitive.
Yeah, and that's fair. And then, but
like, I don't want it more than someone else probably does.
Yeah,
and not that it's a problem, but I can like recognize, and it's like,
but dudes do.
Should I want it more than the next person?
Yeah, but a lot of dudes, that's how they get up. That's why it's called the ladder.
Yeah,
like that's what you go up people, you beat people to go up the ladder, right? But then a lot of times, like, dudes do that and they get to wherever they want to go and they're extremely unhappy and unfulfilled because that particular personality trait led them away from their family. So on the counter side, the general, let's say the lady personality traits or whatever, this is in generalities or whatever, so don't freak out. Don't freak the fuck out or whatever.
We're just hypothesizing.
No, but like this is like science, but like, so let's say like generally speaking, let's say this trait, if you have these feminine traits, which is what they're called in psychology, you don't necessarily make as much money, but you're happy. You don't work as much. You don't work 80 hours a week. You won't do it. Like a lot of times people are like, no, I'm not going to.
I work a 4-day work
exactly.
week.
But you know what I'm saying? You're not willing to do that.
Yeah.
Like let's say if you work.
There's a cutoff to where I'm like, I'm not giving you the rest of my time.
Yeah. You could work 7 days and make more money.
Yeah.
You could.
I could.
But you're not willing to do it. I'm not going
to fucking do
that.
But
there's like a dude that will.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. But then like.
That's actually the situation we're about to walk into. We're about to hire a male therapist. And he's like, I want all the fucking hours.
See, it's like.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
cool.
So that proves what he like what I'm kind of talking about.
Yeah, that's funny.
But so like he'll get all this money and work all these hours or whatever, and then but then like
that provider switch is very interesting.
And then like they say like the feminine traits won't do that as far as like pay goes, but then like you're happy. Yeah. Your suicide rates are lower. Yeah. Like your family life is happy. You're content. Longer. You live longer. Yeah. Who is really winning?
Marley's winning in life.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, who is really winning? That trait set is really winning. But you know what I mean? So that's what he was like. So that's what he was saying. He was just like, who is like this, they call it like masculine traits, but women can have masculine traits and men can have, you know what I mean? But like this particular set of traits will get you more pay.
Yeah.
But is that what, and he was just like, so what? Does that mean you win?
Yeah.
He was like, but if you look at these feminine traits, like they're happy, they don't kill themselves, they live longer. He was like, which one would you pick, man?
Yeah.
So, and he got a lot of shit for that. I'll probably get a lot of slack from just repeating what he said. But
Be like, I'm going to get at you at Twitter.
But again, if you feel triggered, fuck you.
Fuck it.
Yeah, go read a book.
Yeah.
Like, people are different. It's cool.
Again, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine to be different. But I thought that was very interesting because I've never heard it laid out with smarts before. And I was like, oh, that is different.
Yeah. Recap. We did a lot of stuff today.
Did we?
Yeah.
What did we do?
Dissection of humans, and we said some anatomical words, but we also said dick and poop at the same time.
We did,
and that one's good. New colors, definitely get at Schpungle. If you didn't get at Treehouse, you need to get at Treehouse.
They followed us on Instagram.
I love that so much.
Yeah,
so
I was like, yeah, they follow the podcast.
Who was the other person? I know Alan Watts.
Alan Watts, that's always my dude.
Yeah, then was it Jordan?
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah,
I went on a rant about that.
Yeah.
Just now.
I feel like whenever I listen to the podcast, I'm like, who are we talking about?
Yeah. But
I like recaps.
Yeah, I like recaps too, because I'm like, I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know. But so, that's why I was working a lot and doing all this stuff. And like those things that I just said I could see the gap forming.
Yeah.
Like this drive to be entrepreneur and do better and make more money and expand and do this, which was happening, right? Especially before COVID. Like it was just like couldn't do no wrong. Like,
yeah, shit was popping off.
Yeah. The business was like a fucking cash cow and we're helping people, which is a win-win for my heart.
Yeah.
It was going. But then like, my guy upstairs was like feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was
like, damn, where the fuck you at?
So like now, you see now I've kind of like, I shed that. Now I'm not trying to do that. And then now I'm happy.
Yeah.
My family life is better.
Much more happy.
Yeah, my family life's better. And that's what's, so you can see like, like I noticed a certain trait inside of me that was happening. And I was like, I didn't like where it was going, but just to kind of prove what he was saying, or like, you could see that it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah. And I was
even
like,
if you strongly disagree, neutral.
I don't even know how you can disagree, because he also says sexism is real.
Regardless of what you do think, it's a thing.
That's why I never understood why he got like, but if you watch his comebacks, it's like he destroys the people, because like he's known.
People don't like that feeling of being.
Yeah, but he's also not emotional, and they're not telling the truth. He's like, because he always says like that's a piece of the pie. So it's not like sexism isn't real. Like, and I'm not, obviously it is.
Yeah,
like, women couldn't vote until 19 something, 34.
30 something.
That's freaking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously it's a real thing, but it's not the whole thing. It's a part of the thing. So he just goes into the other aspects. I thought it was kind of cool to like. I think personality trait differences are cool, or like how men and women are different. Like as a whole. Yeah, I think it's cool. I was like, it's kind of like.
I think people are fun.
People are fun.
Working with people. I love working.
I like the differences in people and the uniquenesses of people. Yeah. I hate this is a pet peeve of mine. I've realized I hate when people try to paint humanity or everybody as like a broad brush. Like here's a big beige color, there's everybody. I'm like, nah, man, we're all different and special and unique, and like men are awesome, women are awesome, black folks are awesome, white folks are awesome, Asian folks are awesome, Hindus are awesome, Christians are awesome. Like, it's awesome, man.
Yeah,
like,
you got like the few littles that kind of screw everything up, and then you're like, don't even focus your energy on that crap.
Yeah, Nazis are not awesome.
Yeah, no.
No one thinks Nazis are awesome except for Nazis. Like they get no love, man. They shouldn't.
They don't need it.
They don't need it. You know what's really weird?
But also like mob mentality.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. You know what's really weird? The other day was like National
Holocaust Remembrance Day,
and no one gives any F's about that.
Yeah,
man.
and it's like you guys fucking want to chirp in whenever you're like, oh, that was the worst thing, and I'm like,
I saw maybe one meme. Again, my whole like news cycle comes off of memes. I saw maybe one meme. Yeah,
I saw two people but they are like Jewish by like.
I didn't even know how could I not? I personally had no idea it was National Holocaust Survivor Day.
Yeah,
or not Survivor, just National Holocaust Remembrance Day. Yeah, and I was like, that's a genocide. Yeah, like an awful genocide. And I was like,
what's crazy is we go to that and like. Not that it wasn't bad. Not that definitely bad.
Oh man, I'm just saying. If you have to say the Holocaust like was bad, like what are you about to say?
Or just the number of people killed in like during war. It's like we've definitely exceeded in some of the recent wars we've been in.
I don't even know. I don't know how many people have died in war.
I'm saying like the number during the Holocaust, awful. Definitely should put more emphasis into remembering the bullshit that happened. But like murder level number wise,
murder number, war murder number,
not even the highest.
Yeah,
thing.
I don't know.
I think Stalin had killed more people than
dude. He killed millions of people just because they were good farmers.
Yeah,
because like you were above the country, you're above. You know what I mean? Like that's like that super fashion.
I just think it's crazy. Like we just have such a skewed idea of history. Period. And then,
or like none, like
we don't know anything about our civilization.
I bet you if you asked
it's
them,
crazy.
I bet you if you asked some ninth graders about the Holocaust, they would barely know what it is. They wouldn't have the emotion.
Have you ever seen these things where people are out on the street and they're like, "What's the we don't know anything about
anything."
Anything.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't we know stuff? Like, we don't know how our bodies work.
We need to make a TikTok video on it, and like it'll be popular.
It's like, yeah, let's put it on these platforms. It's like we need 30 seconds of all the information. We can't handle it.
You know, I remember looking at like a Holocaust documentary when I was like a littler kid. I don't remember how old it was, and it was the most pain I had ever felt at that time.
Right?
Because I saw the videos and the pictures of like the skinny people in like the I don't know what they're called, like death ovens, like where they cooked them gas chambers or whatever. And I remember seeing like pictures and video like on a documentary. And I thought I was fucked up for like a month, man. Like I was a little kid, so like I was like, Jesus Christ.
There's no palate cleanser for that.
No, man,
that stays.
Yeah, I don't know if like kids see that crap anymore. I don't know.
They're probably.
I don't know.
See enough stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But like, you need to know about that. Like,
you do need to know about it
because like that happened.
Yeah.
A dude did that.
Yeah, with his words, with his spell.
Yeah, with his words. It's true. It really was all through speech.
Speaking.
Yeah, it was. That's crazy if you think about it. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was all hopped up on cocaine and testosterone.
I mean,
no, seriously, he got like testosterone shots.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like he got testosterone shots, and
there's no FDA then.
Well, he was.
Not
he
that
was,
the FDA is
yeah,
good or
but like, yeah, so like when you see him like going ham, man, he was hyped up, man. He was coked up and testosterone up. Like apparently it's a thing. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was like I don't know if it was a problem, but like he had like an addiction to those.
I'm sure anything with cocaine is probably a problem.
Yeah, I feel like if you mix like exogenous testosterone and cocaine together, you're gonna get a Hitler. Like that's it. You know what I mean?
And like people just didn't let him paint. Like he's pissed on top of hyped up.
Yeah, just paint a picture.
Just go get some paint, get some acrylic paint. If you're feeling testy today, like, go break out your acrylics.
Just get some. You know, the other day,
go get you your new blue and like
get that
blackest of black.
The other day, Andre had to do a 100-day of school project. And, like, we painted the whale or whatever, and I painted the bottom of the whale.
Were those stickers? What was in the mouth?
Yeah, there's 100 people could fit in a blue whale's mouth, so we put 100 like faces in the mouth, which is really cool. So I painted. If you go on the Instagram page, you can see it. And I painted like the bottom of it, like that was my job.
Yeah.
And I haven't painted with like a brush and paint on like canvas in a long time, and I was just like, yeah, I feel like this is like in my DNA. This
is good.
I feel like I should be like, I need to paint on the cave wall or something. Like this is something like I've needed to do, and I haven't.
Get you a big canvas, like a 6 foot by 6 foot canvas.
And just go.
Something's a little bigger than you. Even if it's like not a cohesive thing, even if it's just blending color.
It's fun.
It's so good.
I think it's in our DNA, man. Like we need to like paint on walls.
We need them colors, man.
Man, I felt so good. I painted that shark whale belly, and I was just like, it's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
Adult coloring books make me kind of sad though.
How come?
Because they usually, like if they come in a pack, they give you the shittiest color pencils.
It's true.
And then they give you a mandala that is like too detailed, that you can't color it. You can't go in the lines. Like that would stress me out. I'm like, I can't even fucking color a mandala, right? Like they should have thought rethink those.
Yeah, mandalas are cool if you like look at. I can't remember exactly what I googled.
If you want to see a really good coloring book, it's called Alpha Channeling. Alpha Channeling.
Alpha Channeling.
It's graphic, not for children.
Whoa. It's got boobs in it.
It's got all the phallic and boobies. All the things.
It's the Instagram of coloring books.
It's artwork, but they did create a coloring book.
Okay.
Like Alex Gray does these really beautiful, like interconnective, woven, spiritual pieces that are like super high realism, where Alpha Channeling is like very bubbly people, kind of minimal drawing, but usually it has something to do with like sexual energy, tantric, and it's a coloring book.
Which makes it awesome.
It's really good.
I feel like people are going to get mad at me because I said boys and girls are different. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, they'll probably get mad.
But I mean, like, over that, like all the dumb shit that I say. Like, that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel
like of all the stupid shit I've said, that's what you're going to get mad about?
That's some dumb, woke, dumb shit, man, where like you're just mad that boys and girls are different. Not better. It'd be different if I was saying women are better. Men are better. That's stupid.
It's a little different.
Yeah, different. Different is different, not better. Like, but like, how can women?
I know your pelvic degrees are different.
A lot of things are different.
A lot of things are different.
What'd you call it on our first podcast? The slit of life. And then what you
Slit of
said,
life,
I never heard the term, and I was like, I don't have that.
No,
so
you
by
don't.
definition, different.
Yeah.
But like, I bet people are gonna piss. And I'm just sitting there thinking about like, man, I say a lot of dumb crap. I've
They're
never
gonna get mad.
Yeah, I've never really cared. Like, I thought, oh, people are gonna get fired up over that. But I was
Well,
like, I bet y'all get
if
fired.
people want to get mad, they can get their own recorder and their own
true.
microphones, and they can tell us that they're mad about it.
That's true.
And then add us and follow us on Twitter.
That's true. Do that or on all the things on
all of it.
Instagram. I hate. Man, I hate social media.
Yeah.
Well, I hate putting things on social media.
Having to like
I like
drive it through that, or no one else will see it.
Well, I like looking at social media. That's
Yeah.
different.
That's way different.
Yeah, I like funny memes. But
Yeah.
I don't like all the other stuff. I can't believe Marley's picture got like somebody like it's crazy like the things that people posted on that one picture because it was like you can see the mix board and the mic. It was when she was on the pillow. I was like, hey, I'll take a picture, and I did. I posted it or whatever. People were commenting about the decor. And like so many people saw it, and
You're like, I like your bears. I like your
people
dog.
were like,
I like your colors.
whatever. And I was like, what is a pod? It's from a podcast, or whatever. And she was like, they're like, what's this electro look you got? And I was like, it's a podcast recording.
It's a. I guess what is it? A sample board, a sound board?
It's all of it. It's got like 5 boards in one board.
Yeah, it's a sample. It's a mixer. It's a sound board. It's a recorder,
and it's got effects and all this equalizer boards and all kinds of crap in it. Yeah.
Have you pressed your buttons?
Oh yeah.
Things, and it's like this is.
You want to hear one?
Yeah. What's the purple one do?
I don't know. Let's find out. Hold on. Let me turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have these magic squares. If you ever watched the, and she's been eyeing them for like the whole time.
I'm like, what are those?
So
because I'm not close enough to actually press it without completely not being a part of the podcast anymore.
Yeah, we can put whatever we want on there. I just haven't.
I'm familiar with like how soundboards can work.
What do we need to put up? We need to put something. Every time we talk about aliens, we need one. Yeah. Some sort of spiritual stuff.
I think we need all of triggers. Our music that we.
I think we need one for triggers. Like, hey, you're about to be triggered.
Warning. Or one of the morbid podcasts I was listening to, they have palate cleansers after like, hey, this is a trigger. Like we're about to say some shit, but give us a second. We'll give you a palate cleanser. Well, which I don't know if that's good or not. If that's like was it
softening of the mind?
Yeah, like was it like positive reinforcement to like hearing very vile things? Like I don't know if that's okay. Is that okay? That's like rewiring our brains.
Sometimes you need to put it like a pause. Like I need a break from that.
Like let's take a breath.
Which one do you want me to touch?
I want the purple one, obviously.
That one?
Yeah, that's the only one that's purple.
Well, I don't know,
bruh.
What's that?
That is like
you're the color queen.
Barely
though.
Pink.
Okay, well, what is it?
It's kind of red.
All right, I'm pushing it.
It's like pink red.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
These are very like corny sounds that came built. Now we can put what we need: an alien, a trigger.
Yeah.
What
we
else?
Need some reggae.
We need some reggae. We need something we talk about like voodoo. Like
voodoo sound. Yeah.
Like we talk about like
which will be different than the alien sound, but also like we need a spiral ascension sound.
Done.
People need that.
Write these down. When do you have? We have 8 spots.
Yeah.
There it is. Crickets. Joke wasn't funny. You want me to touch the weird red one?
Yeah.
So, if you guys, this is a segment called "What Does This Button Do?"
What does this button do? Follow us on this journey. Oh.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Fancy.
That's very pink. I told you.
Yeah, it lights up.
It lights up more.
It does. We're gonna go aqua.
Aqua.
One of them's scary. Oh. Andre hates it whenever we're on here.
Oh.
That's a good one.
That's a nice teal.
It's just so satisfying touching. They're so good.
Yeah, because they're like a nice silicone.
That one. Andre hates that. My son hates that one.
Yeah. Do it again.
Oh, this is so red.
Oh.
What's this, orange?
We'll see when it's a straight yellow.
We should leave that one on there. Whenever we drop the mic, like drop the mic.
Bam.
Ooh. That joke didn't hit.
No.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
That one got shut down.
That one's very red. See, red always fucking sucks, dude. Like red is the worst.
Leave that one on.
Yeah.
Anyways, there you go. Buttons. We got buttons on there.
Something you could also do is like, since they are color coded, you could add frequency hertz that match that chakra.
You tell me what to put on there. It's real easy to do.
Yeah. You just record it.
You can just download it or record.
Oh, yeah. I forgot this connects to computers.
So we can record us doing stuff, like our voices, or we can get it from the internet, anything.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Any possibility.
It is literally.
And there's probably more than one channel because there's 2 things. So you could probably add more than one sound to each thing.
Probably. There's a whole section there.
Yeah.
You can connect phones to this.
Wow.
Dude, you okay? Yeah. What are you doing? Dry.
You're a smash brother.
I love you, bro.
Love you too.
I love you more.
No, you don't.
Get you on that.
Burn on my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what the buttons. We do need to hook the buttons up, but then we might get a little too catchy, and like I would hit the button all the time.
You're like, are we even doing a podcast? We're just playing with our technology.
Buttons. So yeah, that's why I never really did it. But yeah, you can hook phones up. We could do phone. If you want to do a phone interview, we could do that. I would rather do a phone interview
Than a
Skype?
Zoom. Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Skype, whatever. Video chat.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have wanted to be on the podcast, and if you're one of the people that are like, hey, we're in that, like we get like halfway through, and then I go.